Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor and blessings as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Good morning, honorable members, and welcome to our morning session. Today being Tuesday, 7th May 2024. Before we proceed, clerk. Honorable members, you are welcome once more. Let me take this opportunity first to sincerely apologize for starting the session late. I think it was because of unavoidable circumstances at that time, but we have sorted it out. Nevertheless, we are still within the time as per our standing orders. Honorable members, as you can see today, I'm sitting in an elevated chair. I don't know whether this is the right thing to do. Clerk, please note that, so that because there is no comfort. The chair has no comfort, especially I have to bend down. And I can see someone was whispering that the chair is standing instead of sitting. Let me confirm to you, honorable members, that I'm seated while I'm chairing this session. So, clerk, order number 1.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I have communication to make. This is from the Office of the Governor, Department of Lands, Housing and Fiscal Planning, a letter written by Honorable Brian Silangat, CC Land, Housing and Fiscal Planning. This is the subject matter, and it's addressed to the clerk of the County Assembly. And the subject matter is the Chelimo Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan for 2024 to 2034. This is, and I read verbatim, the above subject matter refers, kindly find attached a copy of the report on the Chelimo Local Physical and Land Use Development for your action. Honorable members, this is the proposed Chelimo Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan for 2024 to 2034. And the department is recommending the following: that the parcel of land set aside for residential purposes is enhanced to cater for additional number of affected landless. 2, that the land set aside for extension to Kericho Teachers College and the State Lodge is repurposed for Kericho County Government and designated as such. That number 3, that the recreational area denoted as 3-2 on the plan and the showground is denoted as 417 are reduced by half. 4, that the land is provided for areas of worship such as churches, mosques, and temples. Number 5, that the land set aside for industrial park is increased to at least 100 acres. This is signed by the CC Lands, housing and fiscal planning. And therefore, this report stands committed to the Committee on Land, Housing, and the Honorable Chairman, you are here. Your committee is in full is land, what? Your committee in full is chairman. You are the chairman of which committee? The Honorable Lezo Ngetich, please take your mic so that you can.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Speaker Sassori, for the opportunity you have given me, Mr. Speaker. I think you started by referring yourself as a chair instead of a speaker today, so that is why my tongue slipped, but sorry for that. The department which responds for that is called Lands, Housing, and Fiscal Planning and Settlement, Mr. Speaker.
Lands, Housing, and Fiscal
Planning and Settlement.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We give you 2 weeks to dispense with the matter. Is that okay?
21 days will be appropriate, Mr. Speaker, because that's a very emotive approval, so it needs a lot of extensive public engagement so that we come out with a proper, cohesive and comprehensive report. Thank you.
Okay. Of course, I know this being a communication, yeah, it's okay. You can have a second. Being a communication, but I can see the hand of one Dr. Moses Rotich, maybe using standing order number 1. Maybe you have something to say on the same.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to inquire an issue, Mr. Speaker. In regard to the several communications that you have made before, Honorable Ezron have asked for 21 days. Mr. Speaker, we have had a number of statements, Mr. Speaker, that have been tabled before in this House. And in many occasions, you have directed that the relevant committees, Mr. Speaker, to dispense the matter in 14 days. So I am rising, Mr. Speaker, to ask what entails, Mr. Speaker, your 14 days. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
All right. Honorable members, of course, that is a very... yes, the Honorable Paul Chirchir.
Sir, the Honorable Chairman for Lands does not know the full name of this committee, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is Lands, Housing, Physical Planning, and Urban Development, Mr. Speaker, sir. That is the full name of, as per the standing order.
Other honorable members, you know the main reason why I even asked the committee and clerk, you need to guide us on this because as per the standing orders, it is actually, I also had the chairman, Land, Housing, Fiscal Planning and Settlement, alluding that he's the chairman, Lands, and you know we have Dr. Namandrop here, who is, so it should be Land, for purposes of record, it's Land, Housing, Physical Planning and Settlement, and Honorable Paul, there is no word urban, so you are out of order, even though you informed us. But please note that honorable members and especially the chairman, remember that we are live. It will be unfortunate if we don't know the committees that we had. Going back to what the Honorable Moses raised, of course, standard practice is that when there is an agenda scheduled or committed before a committee, and you are given 14 or 21 days, you know very well that if you have not dispensed the matter within within the time that you have been given, it is the responsibility as a chairman to report back to the House and request for more time. Remember, if you don't request for more time, as you all know, that report will no longer be admissible in the floor of the House. That one should be very clear, and I know you know. So, the Honorable Hezron, if you have other agendas, of course, that have, as alluded by the Honorable Moses, that they were supposed to be tabled within 14 days, and the reports have not been submitted to the House Business Committee for scheduling, then of course you know the verdict. But I want to believe those reports either must be with HBC, or they shall not see the light of the day. That is how serious it is, honorable members. So I hope the chairman of the various committees, you are noting that, so that we do the right thing as a House. So that is it. That is the only communication that we have. So the Honorable Hezron, Chairman for Land, Housing, okay, yes, the Honorable Hezron. That is in regards to what Honorable Moses raised. Okay.
I rise to inform the House, Mr. Speaker. It's not land, it's lands. It's a typo in that name. It should be lands, housing, housing, and fiscal planning and settlement, not land. It's lands.
Order, honorable members. Is Dr. Namandrov in the House? Because we are now tempted to, but you see, the honorable members, what is in the standing order in page number 154 is land, that's land, housing, fiscal planning and settlement. At the same time, also the CEC in charge of the CEC, one Honorable Brian C. Langat, has also indicated CEC, land, housing and physical planning. So, you know, Chairman, so we need to, what is the plural of lands? So that is a question that Dr. Namandrop, we can see. The Honorable Namandrop, yes, say, so that we can close the matter on lands or lands. But proceed and then we finalize.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to also give my input on whether in traditional English we have a plural of the word lands. Yes, there is, Honorable Speaker, that as the English language developed, there are various types of lands. There is what is called commercial lands, agricultural lands, residential lands, and all those types that are being used for different purposes. So in my own humble view, Honorable Speaker, the right naming of that committee would be lands, and then now you move on in that direction. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
All right, thank you, all the honorable members. So the Honorable Chairman, Land, Housing and Fiscal Planning, and Fiscal Planning and Settlement, the Honorable Hezron Ngetich, please note that the timeline that you have been given, given that we have committed the same today on 7th May 2024. The Honorable Hezron Ngetich, is that in order? All right, thank you. So clerk, next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next.
Order number 5, papers.
Next.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
The leader of majority, the Honorable Philip Rono, give notice of your motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move a notice of motion that this House approves the report of the County Assembly Appointments Committee on the nomination for the appointment of Ms. Beatrice Cherotich Kaptich for the position of CC Member for Information, Communication, E-Government, Youth Affairs, Gender and Sports. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you, the Honorable Philip Rono. The Honorable Chairman for the ad hoc committee on the Kazim Mtaani project, the Honorable Paul Kiptaubi, give notice of your motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to move a notice of motion that this House approves the report on the ad hoc committee on Kazim Mtaani project implemented by the Litein and Kericho municipal boards. Thank you.
All right, thank you, the Honorable Paul Kiptaubi. Honorable members, let us consult in low tones. Clerk, next order.
Order number 8, motion by the majority leader.
Clerk, next order.
Order number 7, statements.
That should be corrected. Next order.
Order number 8, motion by the majority leader.
Honorable Philip Rono, you can now proceed to table your motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity once again. Mr. Speaker, maybe through your guidance, Mr. Speaker, sir, the report, Mr. Speaker, is so voluminous, and I beg to start from bulletin number 3.0, Mr. Speaker, on the approval hearing of the nominee. If you will allow me, Mr. Speaker, I proceed from 3.0.
That is in order, the Honorable Leader of Majority. You can proceed from 3.0. Honorable members, let us note from page from 3.0. Order, honorable members. We have the reports. I want to believe I can see some members having some reports, but not all the members does not have. Is it? The Honorable Diaz, the Honorable Leader of Majority, you know, please can you comment on that before I give further direction?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm not sure whether some members did pass through the right door, Mr. Speaker. The reports are placed at the table outside this, Mr. Speaker. You've seen the sergeant at arms, Mr. Speaker. I suppose maybe these members use the other door.
Order. Order. The Leader of Majority, please take your seats. The Honorable DS, Deputy Speaker, please just take your seat, please, and then I'll give you the Honorable DS.
Honorable Speaker, I wish to state that the documents being presented before us were not available.
Order, honorable members, please, let's give the DS an opportunity.
Yes, and I request that they should both be available in hard copy and soft copy. We normally have the ICT department who normally send, so we request that the ICT department also share the soft copies of the two reports so that in case of the challenge of the papers, we can access from our phone. So I've been waiting to see a message from my phone, and there's nothing. So I request that both be available, soft copy and hard copy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you. The Honorable Maritim, the Honorable Maritim.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. The report is being doctored, Mr. Speaker. So that is why it's delayed to come to this floor, Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable members. Is the honorable Moses Rotich, then I'll pronounce myself on the very matter raised by the Honorable Maritim. Proceed, the Honorable Moses. Is it on?
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, as you have given me this opportunity to speak to this matter. Mr. Speaker, the report.
Order, honorable members. Order.
Protect me, Mr. Speaker.
Order, the Honorable Matthew. Order.
What is being circulated here, Mr. Speaker, is a report on Kasi Mtani. What the Honorable Majority is tabling, Mr. Speaker, is the other report on appointments, Mr. Speaker. I think there is some mix-up in some issues, Mr. Speaker, on how we are supposed to transact this business.
Order.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Order. The Honorable Weldon Rogon.
Mr. Speaker, I rise on a point of order. Pursuant to standing order number 117, and let me read, Mr. Speaker. 1I. The member has just made funny allegations that the report is being doctored, and he cannot substantiate. If he can't, Mr. Speaker, I beg you to rule based on this standing order, and the member ought to be out of these chambers until we finish the report.
All right. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. I think the main issue that we have here is whether the report is ready or not. However, a number of orders have been. Order, honorable members. You cannot guide the speaker. I've heard what you are saying, and I'm almost pronouncing myself. But so order. The leader of majority. It is important that we need to confirm first whether the report has been circulated. Honorable members, but I must also say something, because the reason why we delayed was because of a technical hitch that we had. And I want to support the sentiments by our Deputy Speaker that perhaps, as agreed last time, the report should be forwarded on soft copy and provide the hard copy when the members are entering the chambers. So, clerk, please note that. However, honorable members, there was a point of information by one honorable Maritim on allegations that the report probably has delayed because it was being doctored. Number one, we were dealing with the report on appointment by the appointment committee, and you did indeed raise that probably the reason why it has delayed is because it has been doctored. I want to refer you back to your standing orders on the statement of facts, which is very important. Even before we go to standing order number 117, as raised by the Honorable Ogwan. It's good that whatever you are saying, because this is a house of rules and procedures, and also of records, that whatever you raise, let it be the right thing. If you can substantiate, I'll give you time to substantiate before I make a decision on that matter. And if you can substantiate, I also give you an opportunity to also withdraw the comments so that we can proceed on. Because that is a matter that cannot be wished away. The Honorable Maritim, the floor is yours.
Mr. Speaker, I want to stand with my statement, Mr. Speaker. Simply because, Mr. Speaker, we were sponsored by this county, Mr. Speaker, to go and do report in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. Today in the morning, Mr. Speaker, the clerk was going round, Mr. Speaker, giving us to sign the report, and yet we were to sign in Nairobi. Why, Mr. Speaker? I understand with that statement, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable, which report are you talking about? The one for Kazi Mutani?
I was to sign the report in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. The appointment report. This morning I was given a list. I was given a paper to sign. I didn't sign. I didn't append my signature, Mr. Speaker, because I was to be given in Nairobi. Why was I given?
Order,
Yes.
honorable members. Let us allow the honorable members
Mr. Speaker,
to-
can you protect me, Mr. Speaker?
Let us allow. Order.
Mr. Speaker, we were sponsored to go to Nairobi, Mr. Speaker.
Order, everyone. Order. The honorable Maritim, maybe you have take your seat. Order the honorable Cheriot Bit, and then I'll give to the leader of majority. Order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, some of these allegations, Mr. Speaker, are very grievous. And Mr. Speaker, as you rightly put it, Mr. Speaker, that whoever alleges, Mr. Speaker, must prove beyond reasonable doubt, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I am a member of the appointment committee, Mr. Speaker. And you know, Mr. Speaker, there is no specific place that has been indicated in our standing orders or any other law, Mr. Speaker, that we need to sign such reports, Mr. Speaker. If anything, Mr. Speaker, some of these reports should even be signed at the county assembly, Mr. Speaker. So it's not necessarily that that the report is being doctored because he was given a list to sign in the morning, Mr. Speaker. And I want to, Mr. Speaker, I want to kindly request you, Mr. Speaker, you know the integrity of this house, Mr. Speaker, is very critical. And we need to be very serious people, Mr. Speaker, so that whenever you make an allegation, Mr. Speaker, someone must prove beyond reasonable doubt, Mr. Speaker, or he withdraws, or you throw him outside of this county assembly, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honorable leader of majority.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Much of what I wanted to say, Mr. Speaker, has been said by the senior member of this House, Mr. Speaker. You see, Mr. Speaker, before you accede to a report, Mr. Speaker, you must have gone through the report, Mr. Speaker. And I'm a member of the same appointments committee. We finished late in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, and you know. It's only that Honorable Maritim came earlier, Mr. Speaker. He left us in Nairobi before the completion of this report. And he's now coming in front of this House, Mr. Speaker, to make an allegation, Mr. Speaker, that is so grievous, Mr. Speaker. And he left Nairobi at 9 in the morning, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we came out of Nairobi at 5 p.m., Mr. Speaker, before the conclusion of the same report, Mr. Speaker. Even me, I have signed today in the morning, Mr. Speaker, after going through the report, Mr. Speaker. So the member, Mr. Speaker, should even appear before the Powers and Privileges Committee, Mr. Speaker, for the same grievous acts, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Order, honorable members, so that we have a way forward on this. The honorable Maritim, order, honorable members. Order. The honorable Maritim, I want to refer you back to your standing order number 101. And anyone who has standing orders to give to the honorable Maritim. Anyone, order, honorable members. Any member who has, any member or clerk or sergeant at arm, can you provide standing orders number 10? And I direct that you open page number 68, 101. That is standing order number 101, subsection 1.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Standing order number 101, responsibility for statement of fact. A member shall be responsible for the accuracy of any facts which the member alleges to be true and may be required to substantiate any such facts instantly. That is one.
Read subsection 2 too.
Subsection 2 says, if a member has sufficient reason to convince the speaker that the member is unable to substantiate the allegations instantly, the speaker shall require that such a member substantiate the allegations not later than the next sitting day, failure to which the member shall be deemed to be disorderly within the meaning of Standing Order 122, grave disorder in the assembly, unless the member withdraws the allegation and gives a suitable apology if the speaker requires. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you so much. And I want to close the matter that the Honorable David Maritim, of course, you are a member of the appointment committee, of which the Speaker, yours truly, is the chairman of the appointment committee. And the report before this House is duly signed. The report before me is that you have not signed the report. Of course, you are entitled to your opinion, but I want to rule that you are out of order when you refer that the report has been doctored. You may not support the report because the basic tenets of any committee meeting, just like in the flow of this House, is that democracy carries the day. And of course, I'm privy and aware, because as a chairman, I know your position that you had taken before the committee. The only thing that I would like to request you is that I'll rule you out of order by making allegations that the report is doctored. The report is not doctored, but so you need to withdraw the comments. And when that time comes, you'll be given an opportunity to, of course, give your dissenting opinion before the floor of the House. That will be the appropriate thing to do, the Honorable Maritim. Therefore, I direct that you give an apology and withdraw.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I apologize and withdraw the statement.
All right.
But
Thank
the
you.
message is home, Mr. Speaker.
Order. The leader of majority, now you can proceed tabling your motion. Order, honorable members. Order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity, and thank you for your ruling, Mr. Speaker, on the same, Mr. Speaker. Allow me now, Mr. Speaker, to start from the bulletin 3.0, Mr. Speaker, on approval hearing of the nominee, Mr. Speaker. The committee held a sitting on Tuesday, 30th April 2024, to deliberate on the approval hearings and noted the following. One, Mr. Speaker, that the nominee had not notified the clerk of the county assembly of their withdrawal from the approval process as outlined under Section 7(12) of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act number 5 of 2017. That no memoranda had been received in respect of any of the two nominees. That the committee will proceed with the vetting of the nominee on 2nd May 2024. 3.1, Mr. Speaker, Beatrice Kaptich Rotich, nominee for the County Executive Committee member for ICT, E-Government, Youth Affairs, Gender and Sports. Beatrice Kaptich Rotich, the nominee for the County Executive Committee member for the Information, Communication, E-Government, Youth Affairs, Gender and Sports, appeared before the committee on 2nd May 2024 at 11 a.m. and was vetted under oath pursuant to Section 19A of the Public Appointment County Assemblies Approval Act number 5 of 2017. The committee noted the following. A, Mr. Speaker, date and place of birth. The nominees are female Kenyan, born in 1972 at Kabu Sienduk Village, the Besonic Ward, Bureti Sub-County of Kericho County. Mr. Speaker, the nominee holds a Master of Science in Nursing from University of Dundee, 11 place DD14, United Kingdom, as well as a Bachelor of Science in Nursing from the same university. Employment record, Mr. Speaker, the nominee is currently the County Reproductive Health Coordinator in Department of Health in Bomet County and is the current county focal person for the Transforming Health Systems for Universal Health Systems for Universal Health Care Project, Mr. Speaker, for the World Bank in Bomet. She previously worked in various health institutions as a nursing officer, in charge and supervisor, among other roles. honors and awards, Mr. Speaker, the nominee was awarded as the best nurse of the year. This is in the old republic, Mr. Speaker, in the year 2000. Before devolution, Mr. Speaker, this nominee was the best nurse in the republic, Mr. Speaker, and she was awarded by Pharmacia Relations Community Project. Income and net worth, Mr. Speaker, the nominee estimated her net worth to be at Kenya shillings 9.8 million, comprising of land, house, livestock, car, and other shares, Mr. Speaker. Professional associations and membership, Mr. Speaker. The nominee is a member of National Nurses Association of Kenya and a member of Regulatory Council of Nurses of Kenya. She is also currently a chairperson of the Board of Management at Kabu Shenduk Secondary School, as well as a life member of the Kenya Red Cross Society, Mr. Speaker. We asked the nominee, Mr. Speaker, whether she has published any writings, Mr. Speaker, and she said she has not published any writings, Mr. Speaker. On the issues of conflict, potential conflict of interest, Mr. Speaker, the nominee declared that currently does not have any persons or matter that will present a potential conflict of interest should she assume the position of CEC member for ICT, Government, Youth Affairs, Gender and Sports. And should the same arise, Mr. Speaker, the nominee stated that she will declare the interest in accordance with the law, Mr. Speaker. On pro bono stock charity works, Mr. Speaker, the nominee is involved in charity work through sponsoring students in our community. She is also a patron and an assistant pastor in our local church. She has also indicated that she has been involved in various charity works through the Kenya Red Cross Society and fundraisers, Mr. Speaker. On issues of integrity, Mr. Speaker, the nominee has neither been charged in a court of law nor mentioned in any investigatory report in the last 3 years. She has also never been dismissed or otherwise removed from office for contravention of the provisions of Article 75 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. On general and sector-specific questions to the nominee, Mr. Speaker, that is Beatrice Kaptiche Rotich, she was asked, Mr. Speaker, on the untapped talent and youth empowerment through sports in the county. The nominee acknowledged that there was huge talents within the county that were not utilized and stated that there was need to establish talent search centers so as to bring them on board. Further, Mr. Speaker, the nominee informed the committee that the identified talent will be integrated in the existing activities like the football tournaments being sponsored by elected leaders, Mr. Speaker. The other issue, Mr. Speaker, on the nominee's intended contribution to the Department of ICT, Government, Youth Affairs, Gender and Sports, Mr. Speaker, the nominee stated that ICT offers support system to the other departments by interlinking them to enhance seamless service delivery. She would therefore spend more time in streaming the systems through putting up the right strategies and policies. On gender issues, Mr. Speaker, the nominee stated that she would stick to the national guidelines on gender empowerment. On youths, Mr. Speaker, the nominee stated that the youths will be empowered through provisions of the skills through the ICT platform, Mr. Speaker. On sports, Mr. Speaker, the nominee informed the committee that sports should be viewed not only as a recreational activity or a way of improving one's health, but also trade that can be harnessed to provide income, Mr. Speaker. On dealing with the ballooning wage bill as well as employment of youths that were trained at Jebwagan, Mr. Speaker, this is one of the challenging questions that was posted to nominee, Mr. Speaker, and the nominee stated that there was need to raise revenue collections so as to caution the county against high wage bill. On the Jebwagan trained youths, Mr. Speaker, there was need to establish a database and thereafter ensure that all trainees get their certificates so as to enable them find work elsewhere. Further, she stated that she would spearhead negotiations with private security firms for employment. On what makes her outstanding among other competitors for the position, Mr. Speaker, the nominee assured the members that she is a team player and had the hands-on experience and expertise, Mr. Speaker, in developing and handling youths, gender mainstreaming, and empowerment. She emphasized on her ability to bring synergy among stakeholders, including the members of the County Assembly, through coordination, communication, consultation, and collaborations, Mr. Speaker. This one, Mr. Speaker, she had said she's going to use the 4 C's, Mr. Speaker. That is coordination, communication, consultation, and collaborations. Mr. Speaker, on operationalization of ICT centers across the county, Mr. Speaker, the nominee indicated for the ICT center to be operational, there was need to connect power to the ICT centers and source for reliable internet service provider. Further, the nominee informed the members of the need to mobilize resources through proposals to potential sponsors to ensure maximum infrastructural development. On interest in and knowledge relating to specific position as per section 35(3)(d) of the County Government's Acts, Mr. Speaker, the nominee stated that she was a career civil servant spanning a total of 27 years in the medical field, noting that nursing career was cross-cutting profession within the health sector. She further informed the committee that she had been exposed to ICT while at work through virtual reporting, electronic medical records, and hands-on experience on use of Kenya Health Information Systems. She also demonstrated how she has been advocating for gender issues in the health sector, specifically on her advocacy against gender-based violence. Mr. Speaker, committee observations on the suitability of the nominee. The committee, having considered the nominee's curriculum vitae and having had his oral submissions during the approval hearing and being guided by the provisions of Section 35 of the County Governments Act of 2012 and Section 8C of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act of 2017, made the following observations on her suitability for appointment as the County Executive Committee member. A, Mr. Speaker, that in accordance with Article 78(1) and 2 of the Constitution, the nominee is eligible for appointment to state office since she is a Kenyan citizen born in 1969 in Kericho and does not hold dual citizenship. B, Mr. Speaker, that the nominee obtained clearance from the following statutory bodies. That is in accordance to Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. That is EACC, KRA, CRB, HELP, and Directorate of Criminal Investigations, Mr. Speaker. Part C, Mr. Speaker, that the nominee has not been charged in a court of law in the past 3 years. And Part D, Mr. Speaker, that the nominee has never been dismissed from office under Article 75 of the Constitution for the contravention of the provisions of Article 75(1) on conflict of interest, Article 76, financial property, Article 77, restriction on activities of state officers, and Article 78(2) on dual citizenship of the Constitution. Number E, Mr. Speaker, that the nominee demonstrated sufficient knowledge on topical, administrative, and technical issues touching on ICT, e-governance, youth affairs, gender, and sports, and has the requisite abilities, qualifications, and experience to serve as the county executive member in charge of ICT, e-governance, youth affairs, gender, and sports. Committee General observations, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Section 9(2) of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act of 2017, the committee recommends that the nominee indeed did demonstrate knowledge of topical, administrative, and technical issues touching on all aspects in the portfolios to which she has been nominated to. The nominee was able to convince the committee that she had the requisite abilities, academic qualifications, and professional experience to be able to serve as the county executive committee member for the docket she has been nominated to.
as required by Section 35 of the County Government Act and Section 8C of the Public Appointment County Assemblies Approval Act of 2017. Point 4, Mr. Speaker, committee recommendations. Mr. Speaker, having conducted the approval hearing for the nominees pursuant to Article 179(2)(b) of the Constitution of Kenya, Section 35 of the County Government Act number 17 of 2012, Section 7, 8, and 9 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act number 5 of 2017, and Standing Order 199. The committee recommends that this House approves the nomination of Beatrice Cherotich Kaptich for appointment as CEC member for ICT, e-governance, youth affairs, gender, and sports by His Excellency, the Governor. It is signed by the Right Honorable Dr. Patrick C. Mutai, BAD, Chairman for the Appointments Committee and the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho. And it was signed today, Mr. Speaker, in the morning after going through the reports, Mr. Speaker. And maybe I invite the members of this County Assembly, Mr. Speaker, to go through the annexures, Mr. Speaker, based on County Assembly's Approval Act, Mr. Speaker. We followed the due procedure, Mr. Speaker, and on advertisements and other things, Mr. Speaker, it is annexed, Mr. Speaker, from annexure number 1, Mr. Speaker, from the time that Honorable His Excellency Governor Mr. Dr. Eric Mutai forwarded the same, Mr. Speaker. They can see annexure number 1, the time that they sent the names of the nominees, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, annexure number 1B, the same document, Mr. Speaker, that was submitted, the submission of the nominee for the county executive members. And annexure 2, Mr. Speaker, I kindly invite the honorable members to just see the advert, Mr. Speaker. I know they are in a newspaper, Mr. Speaker. We have a lot of things, Mr. Speaker, but kindly ignore the other things and see the notice to the nominees and members of the public. That is County Assembly of Kericho. It was dated 21st of November 2023. Annexure number 3, Mr. Speaker, nomination of the County Executive Committee members. This was forwarded to Honorable Speaker by His Excellency the Governor. The name of Beatrice Kaptich Cherotich on the 8th of April 2024, Mr. Speaker. And annexure number 4, Mr. Speaker, I kindly invite the honorable members to see the advert dated 9 of April 2024. That is notice to the nominees and members of the public. And annexure number 4P, Mr. Speaker, I also invite the members to see the County Assembly, notice of nominees and members of the public. That is Beatrice Kaptich Cherotich and Dr. Joel Kimengich Cheruse, Mr. Speaker, that was vetted through the Committee on Lands, Housing and Physical Planning. So we followed all the due process, Mr. Speaker, and here is where we are today. I kindly request that the same motion be seconded by Honorable Jeruyot Pate from Ainamoi Ward, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
All right, thank you. The Leader of Majority. Seconder.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to second this very important motion, Mr. Speaker, that has been sponsored by the majority leader party, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to confirm that I am a member of this appointment committee, Mr. Speaker, and I also want to confirm to you, Mr. Speaker, that I sat through when this nominee, Mr. Speaker, was being taken through the suitability test, Mr. Speaker, under your able leadership, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this from the onset, Mr. Speaker. that what the committee did, Mr. Speaker, was looking at the suitability of the nominee, Mr. Speaker. We were not conducting any interview, Mr. Speaker. There is a world of a difference between conducting an interview, Mr. Speaker, and looking at the suitability for this candidate, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this, Mr. Speaker, that this nominee, Mr. Speaker, in a nutshell, demonstrated someone who is someone who is going to provide leadership under the ICT department, Mr. Speaker, e-government, youth affairs, gender and sport. Mr. Speaker, let me also say this from the onset, Mr. Speaker, that this is someone who is going to be in charge of not only ICT alone, Mr. Speaker. We have the element of the youth affairs inside there, Mr. Speaker. We have the element of gender, Mr. Speaker. We also have the element of sports, Mr. Speaker. When I was going, we had a lot of questions, Mr. Speaker, concerning the nominee, because once the nominee came, Mr. Speaker, she's someone who has done much in maybe health, Mr. Speaker. But he was able, Mr. Speaker, to demonstrate to the committee that she is a leader, Mr. Speaker. A CEC, Mr. Speaker, may not necessarily, Mr. Speaker, be a technical person in the department, because of course we have technical person in the department, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, at the county assembly here, Mr. Speaker, I can see my chair, ICT, Mr. Speaker. I may not know whether he knows how to, Mr. Speaker, but he has led this county assembly in the ICT committee very well, Mr. Speaker. So it's about leadership, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what even captured my attention, Mr. Speaker, is that we've been sponsoring tournaments, Mr. Speaker, in our wards, Mr. Speaker, every now and then. But what she said, Mr. Speaker, is that the first legislation, Mr. Speaker, that is going to forward to the county assembly is that the county government of Kericho, Mr. Speaker, should come up with the periodic tournaments, Mr. Speaker, from the ward level, Mr. Speaker. That is what we've been lacking, Mr. Speaker. These honorable members here, Mr. Speaker, every other time, they are using millions of their own pocket money, Mr. Speaker, to sponsor tournaments from where we come from, Mr. Speaker. And you know, these are nominees that are saying when she takes over the office, Mr. Speaker, is going to make sure that we have a county tournament that will be rolled out from all the 30 wards, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, under the ICT token, Mr. Speaker, I was very happy because one, Mr. Speaker, she convinced the committee, Mr. Speaker, that under the Kenya Kwanza plan, Mr. Speaker, you know the president is very categorical, Mr. Speaker, on setting up the ICT hubs in every ward, Mr. Speaker. And she did confirm to us that, Mr. Speaker, that she's going to roll the Kenya Kwanza plan on the ICT hub, Mr. Speaker. Many a times, Mr. Speaker, I have a hole in Inamoy, Mr. Speaker, that is not working, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I know when we approve this lady, Mr. Speaker, that all, Mr. Speaker, will be put into use because we need our youth, Mr. Speaker, to tap the opportunities that the government, Mr. Speaker, has put out in place, Mr. Speaker. So I want to invite the honorable members, Mr. Speaker, that this is the lady that showed a lot of commitment, Mr. Speaker. I said she's going to work with the county assembly members, Mr. Speaker, in consulting, of course, through the chair ICT, Mr. Speaker, and those other committees. And I want to urge the county assembly members, Mr. Speaker, that let's approve the nominee, Mr. Speaker, so that the government of Dr. Eric Mutai, Mr. Speaker, is now complete. Mr. Speaker, you know, when I was vetting, Mr. Speaker, I saw, Mr. Speaker, that at least the government is now done, Mr. Speaker. We now have the 10 CECs, Mr. Speaker, in the department. So approving this lady, Mr. Speaker, the county executive will never have any reason why not to deliver on services to our people because they already have the leadership in every department. So I want to humbly, Mr. Speaker, request, especially the honorable lady, Mr. Speaker, that this is one of your role, Mr. Speaker, and you to stand up for her, Mr. Speaker, so that at least the gender issue is also solved once and for all, Mr. Speaker. how I wish the Honorable Deputy Majority Leader was here, Mr. Speaker, because she has always been on top of things, trying to look at the gender issues in this county, Mr. Speaker. So I want to kindly request the members, let's approve this, and we give this lady an opportunity to serve us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I second this very critical motion that is sponsored by the ruling party, Mr. Speaker. In fact, this is a ruling party, Mr. Speaker, so we do not expect a lot of issues unless you are in opposition. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right. Other honorable members, thank you, the Honorable Cheriot Bet. I now wish to propose the question that this House approves the report of the County Assembly Appointment Committee on the nomination for appointment of one Ms. Beatrice Cherotich Kaptich for the position of CEC Member for Information, Communication, E-Government, Youth Affairs, Gender and Sports. Honorable members, the floor is now open for debate, and I will limit the Honorable Gilbert Ngetich, and then I will give to the Honorable Martin, and then Honorable Eric B, and then the Honorable who is that? Paul. Oh yeah, the Honorable the member for Kapsoit. All right. Proceed, Honorable Gilbert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to also support the report in which it has been made so well by the Committee on Appointment, being chaired by you, Mr. Speaker, and allow me to take this opportunity to say sorry in the sitting posture today, Mr. Speaker, though I'm not aware what's happening in that seat, Mr. Speaker, but I'm sure we will survive the session, Mr. Speaker. Now, I'm actually in support of this regular report by really approving this Beatrice Kaptich. This Beatrice Kaptich is someone known to me. I know her very well. She can really do what she has really said to do. And Mr. Speaker, by you chairing this team to an extent of approving, Mr. Speaker, you really did the right thing, and the committee, by seeing the professionality and also the academic performance of an individual, and now that as I know Beatrice Kaptich, Mr. Speaker, and was fascinated so much in this point number 52, Mr. Speaker, where the nominee stated that there was need to really improve the revenue collection, Mr. Speaker, where we really think of having a problem in this county as we sit today, Mr. Speaker. And she has committed herself that she will actually join the hand with the other team to ensure that the revenue collection is collected to the expectation, Mr. Speaker. And finally, to have a working plan on the Chebwagan team, Mr. Speaker, who are really the people who do not have the certificate. Remember, we trained people last time under very rigorous and tough training in Chebwagan, and really they are home today as we speak, though some are employed. Mr. Speaker, the critical part of it in which I saw is this certificate, allowing them to get the certificate for them to really fenge around this world to really get some job via the certificate existing, Mr. Speaker. So when I saw the lady really highlighting that she will ensure this team gets their certificate, Mr. Speaker, it will be something which will really assist us, because those teams are really blaming us in failure to employ them and also failure to have them with the certificates. Honorable Cheriot Bet is aware, and if the lady Beatrice Kaptich is supported, Mr. Speaker, I am very sure we will actually have this problem solved once and for all. Even though we may not be giving them employment because of wage bill at the moment, we may also work smart to ensure that they are employed in other sectors. Mr. Speaker, on the gender issue, Mr. Speaker, I was yesterday, Mr. Speaker, with the nominated honorable members of this House, Mr. Speaker, and they were almost telling me we are not considering them in some budgetary allocation, Mr. Speaker, for them really to work on the gender issues. When I see this lady, Mr. Speaker, I also reminded them that the chair of women in this assembly and Kericho issue, Mr. Speaker, and we are now adding you another woman who is CEC Mr. Speaker, and we will actually have this team have the allocation and ensure the other women are safe, Mr. Speaker. So I support this report, and I really believe that we will approve this particular lady who has really won to the, who has really worked smart to the apex of academic performance. Thank you,
All
Mr.
right.
Speaker.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Gilbert Ngatich. The Honorable Martin Koska, and then I'll give to the Honorable Eric B. Martin. No? Oh, sorry, the Honorable Martin Cherios.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to the motion that has been raised by Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, sir, I know it's a slip of the tongue. You said Martin Cheriot, Martin Koske. I'm Martin Cheriot. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I've risen also I've rose to support this motion on this nominee for ICT, e-governance, youth affairs, gender and sports by His Excellency the Governor. I'm particularly drawn to what the nominee has said, number 54, about the operationalization of ICT centers across the county. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm happy that this nominee is well versed with what is happening in our county, and has indicated that she'll help pulling synergy with other departments to pull or mobilize resources so that we get infrastructural development to assist in uplifting the talents of our youth across our county. I'm also drawn to the attention that she mentioned about our youth not only showing talents, but also making these talents work for them or earning from this. So, Honorable Speaker, this is a nominee that will add value to what we are looking for in our county. And also, there is also something that she has mentioned about the Jeboagan, that she will also would like to see that they are the trained Jeboagan youths are given certificates so that they'll secure jobs elsewhere, even away from our county government. And this will be an achievement and an advantage to those who manage to train. And by doing so, we are opening up windows or widening the scope of these young people to get employed elsewhere. So this is a nominee. This lady is an able lady, and I want to urge this honorable house that as we approve, it will actually assist us in adding value and uplifting the service delivery in our county. So I rise to support the motion, and I urge this honorable house to support. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, the Honorable Martin Cheriot. Honorable Eric B. I will be closing in the next.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker,
Yes.
for giving me.
I'll give you a minute. Then I'll give gender a minute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'll just go straight away, but allow me briefly to just pass a word of condolence to our people who have been affected by flood, and I want to request the county so that we will be able to have funds to also set aside to support. I come from an area whereby there is marginally affected by flood in Kablela State. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to support the approval of the nominee, Beatrice Kaptich.
based on two reasons, Mr. Speaker. One is that she has been able to demonstrate that she is able to perform duties concerning the Department of E-Government. Mr. Speaker, she has been also cleared by CRB and also met Chapter 6, the issue of integrity, Mr. Speaker. So, and lastly, Mr. Speaker, since she has knowledge in health, Mr. Speaker, during the cabinet sittings, she's be able to assist the Department on Health also to give the HAP. You see, there's a system which are being used to collect revenue, Mr. Speaker. And of course, Mr. Speaker, it has been a very big issue when it comes to revenue collection. So I think the nominee, Mr. Speaker, will be able to assist all other departments, especially the Department of Finance, by discussing the key mandate, that is the revenue collection, Mr. Speaker, by using the system. Otherwise, because I don't belabor so much, Mr. Speaker, you have given me 1 minute, I support the report. Thank you.
Thank you, the Honorable Eric B. The Honorable Monica Kikwai. Then I'll give to the Honorable Irene, and then I'll put the question.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Support the motion on appointment of CC, Madam Beatrice. I want to say that I support the motion and want to request this Honorable House, especially the Budget Committee. There is nothing much that can take place without resources. I would request that we appropriate resources so that the CEC will be able to carry out this responsibility and ensuring that gender issues are well catered for. Otherwise, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
All right, thank you, the Honorable Irene Langat.
So thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for
just your mic.
okay, for giving me this chance to also join my colleagues in supporting the appointment of one Beatrice Kaptich as one of the CEC members. By the fact that this selection has been based on gender lines, I support it 100%. This department also is very critical. The Kenyan Kwanza government is, the president particularly, is interested in ICT and affairs of gender, so that our youth will be considered in several fields, considering that there is high rates of unemployment. So I support it. We've been told that this Beatrice is eligible. We've looked at the report critically, and because of the time, I support this report.
All right, thank you. I think looking at our time, honorable members, before then, I just using standing on number one, having seen the hand of one Peter Kemoy, I will give to Peter Kemoy, and then I'll give to the Honorable Maritim because of the earlier interactions. And then allow me, honorable members, we still have other business agenda to transact. So, Honorable Peter Kemoy, a minute, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me the opportunity. I want to second this motion and support the CEC. Having looked at the explanation and the report from the appointment committee, I want to comment because I was really touched on the issue on the trained youths in Chebuagan. We use a lot of resources as the Kericho County, and these people, they were not awarded any certificate. So coming up with such an issue to be awarded certificate, I think it is a great idea, and I support the idea. Number two, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that we need to improve our youths to nurture their talents. And she touched on sponsoring the county tournaments. And I want to add also, apart from sponsoring these tournaments, we should also equip our youths with necessary materials and even the games kits, because they can play very well, but they don't have these materials and even the games kits. Also, there is a challenge in terms of where our youths play, the playing grounds. So if she can come also with an idea that she improve at least in every ward a field for our youths to train on, I think it will also improve our youths in the county. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for granting me the opportunity.
Thank you. The Honorable Maritim, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for granting me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want you to allow me to register my dissenting opinion. As a member of appointment committee, Mr. Speaker,
yes, the Honorable Leader of Majority.
Mr. Speaker, I think we are past a point of registering dissenting opinion, Mr. Speaker. I want Honorable Maritim, Mr. Speaker, to go against the report, because the report is already in the flow, Mr. Speaker, and we don't have the room for registering dissenting opinion, Mr. Speaker. Let him be against the report, Mr. Speaker, for the records.
Yeah. Order, honorable members. The Honorable Maritim, you have an opportunity to either support or not support the motion. Order, honorable
Speaker,
members.
for that guidance, Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable members. Let us allow the Honorable Maritim
Thank you, Mr.
to
Speaker.
contribute on the motion. So,
thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please
for giving me
contribute.
this opportunity. I want to oppose this motion, Mr. Speaker, for the obvious reason, Mr. Speaker. First, Mr. Speaker, the candidate did not attain the pass mark of 60, Mr. Speaker. She had 58. Mr. Speaker, secondly, Mr. Speaker, the candidate did not submit a very critical document called Certificate of Good Conduct, Mr. Speaker. That was by Sunday. She was given, Mr. Speaker, she was given 24 hours, and by Sunday, Mr. Speaker, there was no document, Mr. Speaker. Another thing, Mr. Speaker, there is no regional plan in this appointment, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, lastly, Mr. Speaker, I supported the first recommendation, Mr. Speaker, but there was mutilation, Mr. Speaker. I don't know why, Mr. Speaker. I don't know what happened, but I don't support this appointment, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
All right, order. Thank you, the Honorable Maritim. Honorable members, every member has a right to be heard. And therefore, the Honorable Maritim is in order to make his comments and observation and even to oppose this motion. There should be nothing to worry, because that is the tradition of any parliament or of any county assembly. So, honorable members, the Honorable Leader of Majority, looking at the time, can you please proceed with your motion?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to reply on the same motion, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank
the Leader of Majority. Before you reply, you do the other motion on adjournment of time. Extension of time, sorry. Extension of time. Looking at our...
thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker. I thought maybe it was time for reply of the same motion, Mr. Speaker. But allow me, Mr. Speaker, to move a motion, Mr. Speaker, to extend time, Mr. Speaker, because we have several activities aligned, Mr. Speaker, for this morning session, Mr. Speaker. Allow us to extend time for the next another 1 hour, Mr. Speaker, from the time from 12:30 to 1:30, Mr. Speaker. And I kindly request that Honorable Anthony Ruto to second the same motion, Mr. Speaker.
All right, the Honorable Anthony Ruto. Okay. Honorable members, I now rise to put the question that this House extend the time from 12:30 to 1:30. Will as many of similar opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? And the ayes have it. Honorable members, now we proceed. The leader of majority, you can now reply to your motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me the second time, Mr. Speaker, to reply on the motion, Mr. Speaker, before the floor. And first, Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank the honorable members of this county assembly, Mr. Speaker, for being very objective, Mr. Speaker, and seeing the qualifications and the leadership that is in the nominee, Mr. Speaker. I have nothing much to say, Mr. Speaker, but I only want to thank them and urge the nominee, Mr. Speaker, that upon approval by this county assembly, Mr. Speaker, she needs to stick to what she said before the committee, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, I want to say thank you. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the office of the Speaker and that of the clerk, Mr. Speaker, and the clerks that accompanied us, Mr. Speaker, as we were doing vetting, Mr. Speaker, from the time we vetted the nominee and the time she accompanied us and did all they could, Mr. Speaker, to come up with the report, Mr. Speaker. I want to say thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you, the leader of majority. I now rise to put the question that this House, order honorable members, refer your standing orders. When the chair is standing, you keep quiet. Order. I now rise to put the question that this House approves the report of the County Assembly Appointment Committee on the nomination for appointment of Ms. Beatrice Cherotich Kaptich for the position of CEC member for information, communication, e-government, youth affairs, gender and sports. Will as many of similar opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? And the ayes have it. Clerk, order, honorable members. Clerk, next order.
Order number 9, motion by chairman of ad hoc committee.
Yes, the Honorable Paul Kiptaubi, you can table your motion before the House.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to move the motion. As I stand, Honorable Speaker, I want to inform this Honorable House that the report I'm giving out is the real actual report, not the one which circulated over the medias and which went around throughout the week. Honorable Speaker, I'll go straight and ask the members to adopt the report that I'm to give out, and allow me, Speaker, to go straight to page 1, because what is contained in the first one is contents, the table of the contents, and then abbreviations, and then definitions of the municipality, contract period, municipal charter, kazi mtaani, and value for money. Honorable Speaker, on the preface, the ad hoc committee was established through a communication from Honorable Speaker on Wednesday, 21st February 2024. To inquire into Kazi Mtaani project implemented by the Litein and Kericho municipalities. This was occasioned by discrepancies contained in a report of statement raised by one Honorable Matthew Goril on 13 February 2023 to the Committee on Lands, Housing and Fiscal concerning the status of Kazi Mtaani project that was implemented by the Kericho and Litein municipalities. and scheduled for response on Wednesday, 14th February 2024 morning session. See next 1A statement by Honorable Matthew and 1B copy of communications by Honorable Speaker. Membership is as shown below. That is 1 Paul B, Chairman, Honorable Kiprotich Rogon being the Vice Chair, Honorable Julius Siele, Member, Honorable Hilary Bosben, Member Anthony Ruto, Honorable Anthony Ruto, Member, Honorable David Maritim, Member, Honorable Monica Chelangat, Member, Honorable Vincent Koskei, Member, and Honorable Winnie Langat, Member. Secretariat was composed of Abraham Langat, Deputy Clerk Administration, Lynn Chemngeno Committee Clerk, Rose Mutai Principal Clerk, Kibet Peter, Legal Advisor, Gladys Gorir, Answered Proper Reporter, and Justice Maritime Sajina Tam, Renis Chepngetich, Public Relations Officer, Gorir Alfred, ICT Manager, and Luzinjeri, Welfare Officer.
Okay, the Honorable Paul, because I've gone through your report, all the way to page 11 is preliminaries.
Sorry?
I would suggest that you start from 4.0, which is page 12 of your report. But of course, Honorable members, you have the copy of the report and you can go through from page number 1 to number 11. Those are the standard preliminaries of the report. So please proceed from 4.0, the Honorable Chairman.
Thank you. I'm stand guided, Honorable Speaker. On 4.0, committee proceedings, hearings, and submissions from the Kazi Mtaani witnesses. The ad hoc committee held its first meeting on 22nd February 2024 through a program and scheduled witness to appear before it for the interrogation. The main focus was on the terms of reference and any other information on Kazi Mtaani project as required by the committee. The committee interviewed the following witnesses and their responses were as follows. For one, the County Executive Committee member in charge of finance and economic planning. The CECM Finance and Economic Planning appeared before the committee on 1st of March 2024 to shed light on the Kazi Mtaani project. The CECM informed the committee on the capital plans for Kericho and Litein municipalities of Kenya shillings 5 million, each in the financial year 2022-2023, and that Kenya shillings 4 million and Kenya shillings 2.5 million were allocated to Kericho and Litein municipalities in Supplementary Budget 1, 2022-2023, respectively. The recurrent expenditures for the municipalities were 8 million. Each in financial year 2022-2023, which was subsequently reduced by 1 million, each in the Supplementary Budget 1. In the financial year 2023-2024, Kericho municipality got an allocation of 37 million, and Litein was allocated 8 million in development. The Department of Finance has disbursed 18.5 million, and Kenya shillings 4 million for Kericho and Litein municipalities, respectively for the year 2023-2024. The CECM further informed the committee that their role as finance is to support all the departments by according accountants to the municipalities like other departments, and that the accountants report directly to the accounting officers of the respective departments. On the value for money aspect of Kazi Mtaani project, as CC in charge of that department was categorical that the project had value for money in short term, but not viable in the long term. The CEC concluded that such programs may be operated by an equivalent of a youth service whose policy is at the formulation stage. County Executive Committee member in charge of lands, housing, physical planning, and settlement. That is 4.2. The CECM Lands, Housing, and Physical Planning appeared on 1st March 2024 to make clarifications on the Kazi Mtaani. The CECM informed the committee that the project was not called Kazi Mtaani, but the name was a slogan given to the project by youths who undertook the exercise. The CCM clarified that the project initially targeted youth only and was to be operationalized in areas within the municipalities of Kericho and Litein. The Kazim Mtaani project initially intended to engage 120 youths for Kericho and 70 youths for Litein. But when zones were expanded, the number increased from 190 to 500. The Kazim Mtaani project was executed by way of contracts because there was no policy in place. And that is very important for members to understand that there was no policy in place. The CCM acknowledged the lack of policy on the Kazim Mtaani project, and thus the decision to use contractual services as way of executing its intended objective. The Kazim Mtaani project did not entail garbage collection only, but included other works such as unblocking of drainages, beautification, street cleaning, and bush clearing along the roads. The CCM informed the committee that the municipalities procured companies that did Kazim Mtaani because of its semi-autonomy, and that there was delay in the payment of contractors, thus affecting pay to the youths engaged. On the pending claims by youth from Brook area of Kenya shillings for 4,500 by youth of 19 days from Kapkelek area and of 13 days from an anonymous person. The CCM lands could not substantiate how the CCM informed the committee that the municipal managers gave assurance that all the youths are paid. The CCM clarified that the signatories of the municipal bonds are the municipal managers and the chief of lands, housing, and physical planning, who are sole responsible for an expenditures in the two municipality accounts. Additionally, the CCM told the committee that there was a pending bill of Kenya shillings 2.757349 in the Kericho Municipal, owing to exceeding half-year limit requisitions. The CCM closed his remarks by requesting the committee to consider allocating the revenue collection task to the Department of Lands through municipalities. 4.3, Chief Officer, Lands, Housing, and Physical Planning. The Chief Officer informed the committee that Kericho population comprises of 50% youths, out of whom 80% are unemployed. The Chief Officer alluded to the committee that the Kazim Mtaani project was meant to address the issue of unemployment among the youths in the county. The Chief Officer told the committee that Kericho County has two gazetted municipalities, that is Kericho and Litein, that are independent, and that 4 members of the municipal boards are competitively sourced. The Chief Officer, Lands, Housing, and Physical Planning is a member of the 2 municipal boards, and that the municipalities have been given 18 functions, though not transferred. The Chief Officer further informed the committee that our role is to approve the transfer of functions to the municipalities. The Chief Officer Lands claimed that the Kazim Mtaani was a matter approved by the County Executive Committee for implementation, and that the Lands Department has developed a draft Kericho County Youth Service and Women Empowerment Policy. The draft policy expected to address the challenges faced in implementation of Kazim Mtaani project. The Chief Officer notified that garbage collection is done by Kericho Municipality, while in Litein Municipality, the Department of Environment collects garbage, citing inability of the Litein Municipality to perform the garbage collection function. The Chief Officer further told the committee that the contractors of Kazim Mtaani were sourced competitively, and the payment schedule for the youths engaged would be provided by the municipal managers. The rate of waste generation in places such as Nyagacho caused the need to engage more youths and hence increase their budget. The chief officer further informed the committee that contractors made payment to the youth through mobile platforms, and that the amount paid to the youth was as per the labor laws and SRC circulars capping the minimum wage. The chief officer further said that the project achieved the intention of empowering 500 youths as success stories were shared by the youths through phone calls, and other youths came into office to appreciate. In Kericho municipality, garbage collection was handed over by the county executive committee to the municipality. On the question of some youths who have not been, the chief officer responded that the youths might have been given out phone numbers of their kins, which caused them not to receive the money, hence complaints. The chief officer further suggested that in future there is need to have a policy to hide such projects in the entire county. 4.4, Acting Lieutenant Municipal Manager. Mr. Isaac Pozuben, Acting Lieutenant Municipal Manager, appeared before the ad hoc committee on 4th March 2024 to give an account of what transpired in the Kazim Mtaani project. The acting municipal manager informed the committee that the Lieutenant Kazim Mtaani project targeted 70 youths, but later the number ballooned and the project expanded to now to new zones outside municipality as approved by Lieutenant Municipal Board. The Kazim Mtaani project was done in phases by 6 contractors, contracted companies, who engaged casuals and the supervisions to undertake the Kazim Mtaani project. The committee concluded by challenging the acting municipal manager Litain to supply the following documents with respect to the Kazim Mtaani project. A. Minutes of the municipal boards authorizing the Kazim Mtaani project. B. List of companies that applied for the Kazim Mtaani project. C. Payment forgers for Kazim Mtaani project. D. List of youths or any other person engaged on Kazim Mtaani. E. Work schedules for the Kazim Mtaani project. And F. List of supervisors of the Kazim Mtaani project. 4.5. Kericho Municipal Manager. The Kericho Municipal Manager, Mr. Joseph Rotich Sitiene, appeared before the ad hoc committee on 4th March 2024. The manager informed the committee that the project was done in period between 14th February and 30th June 2023. The municipal manager told the committee that the Kakelek and Ainamoi areas were added as a result of requests by the local leaders, who included opinion leaders. The manager clarified that the Kazim Mtaani project for period for Kericho municipality utilized a total of Kenya shillings 27.5 million out of 37 million budgeted for development in the municipality. The municipal manager informed the committee that the payment forgeries of the Kazim Mtaani contracts are with the Office of the Auditor General, Nakuru, and the list of youths engaged are with the contractors despite having been paid. The Department of Lands has transferred the carpet collection function to a Kericho municipality for 1.5 months now, and that the Kericho municipality collects carpet using 3 tipper lorries and 2 tractors at Kericho town. The manager requested the committee to consider petitioning relevant departments to transfer payroll of the seconded staff and transfer of funds whose functions is being done by the municipalities. The functions sought to be done by the municipalities include development controls in town, feeder roads maintenance, regulation of public transport, sewerage systems, sanitation, and garbage collections, among others. The municipality was initiated according to Urban Areas and Cities Act 2019, and its role is the same as those of county government despite the fact that municipality has no resources. The manager informed the committee that they have 10 members of staff, 22 garbage collectors, and 1 environment officer. The municipal manager said that the Kericho municipality has a pending bill of Kenya shillings 2.757349 million and further confirmed that all the youths were paid for the Kazim Tane project. On the issue of the supervisors of the Kazim Tane project, the manager informed the committee that the supervisors were engaged by the contractors and that a total of 9 contractors were engaged to undertake the Kazim Tane in Kericho. The Kericho municipality has 18 functions, but underfunded, and there is need to hand over the roles from the executive departments. On the autonomy of the municipalities, the manager responded that it should be fully autonomous, like Nakuru and Karisa, among others. The manager further told the committee that the Kericho municipality is now undertaking organizational and coordination of public transport in Kericho town, which is an achievement. 4.5, Senior Supply Chain Officer. Mr. Ruben Kibiegon Langat, a Senior Supply Chain Officer, appeared before the committee on 5th March 2024 to shed light on the procurement procedures and regulations adopted in Kazim Tane project. The supply chain officer informed the committee that the tender term for Kazim Tane project was provision of cleaning services and unblocking of drainages. The procurement officer further clarified that he received 3 to 4 requisitions in the month of March for the Kazi project, which was tendered through request for quotation upon confirmation of the availability of funds by the municipal manager. Mr. Langat informed the committee that he was seconded to the municipality on the 7th February 2024, having worked previously in the lands docket. He further informed the committee that once the tendering process was concluded, tender opening minutes and tender evaluation minutes were forwarded to county head of supply chain for professional opinion. The senior procurement officer informed the committee that the Kazim Tane project commenced on January 2023, and a total of 15 companies signed contracts with the municipalities. 6 companies were engaged in Litein municipality, and 9 companies were engaged in Kericho municipality. On the question of whether due diligence was done on the companies engaged in the supply chain, officer responded that the right prequalification was conducted. 4.6, Director Eagle Trees Company Limited and Rehisa Enterprises Limited. This was one of the contractors, Honorable Speaker. The director appeared before the ad hoc committee on 18th March 2024 to represent Eagle Trees Company Limited and Rehisa Enterprises Limited. In his submissions, he informed the committee that he is the sole director of Eagle Trees Company Limited and Rehisa Enterprises Limited. Rehisa Enterprises Limited. Rehisa Enterprise Limited was awarded works at the Silk area, Kapsoit, Polytechnic Brook Center, Kapsuser, and Kwamichael to undertake drainage works and bush clearing. Rehisa was contracted on 5th May 2023 for a period of 26 days. When challenged on the number of days on the PQ, the contractor could not explain nor could provide a copy of PQ, and further claimed that the department has the PQs, a total of Kenya shillings 2.5 million, 29456.02 was paid to Rehisa Enterprises Limited for works done. The youths engaged by Rehisa Company Limited were 95 in number. Eagle Trees Company Limited. Eagle Trees Company Limited was awarded works at Nyagacho, Kulapoa, Super Saramek, Mokech, for Kimutai areas to undertake street cleaning, bush clearing, and drainage works for a period of 26 days in month of June 2023, and a further 13 days in month of July 2023, which totals to 39 days. The contract between the municipality and Eagle Trees was signed in the month of June 2023, and the youths engaged were 82, and payment of the youths were via M-Pesa, and the contract sum was Kenya shillings 2.890275. youth stroke laborers stroke women representatives. 2 men and 8 women appeared before the committee on 18th March 2024 at noon to give an account of the Kazi Mtaani and shared their experience in their submissions. They informed the committee that they did works in the sign zones of Machengo, Nyagacho, and Stadium for a period of 5 months. That is February to July 2023. The remuneration was Kenya shillings 10,400 per month instead of 12,000 shillings as pronounced by His Excellency the Governor, Kericho County. His father informed the committee that they were being paid through M-Pesa agents, one at AP line, the Engager line, and payments by one Aruna. They further claim that each has a balance of 9 days of Kenya shillings, 3,600 Kenya shillings. 50. Response to the terms of reference. The committee examined key witnesses, probed various documents, and deduced the following responses to the terms of reference as mandated by the House. 851. What is the name of the project undertaken by the 2 municipal boards? The name Kazi Mtaani was a slogan coined by youth after the project was launched by His Excellency the Governor on 14 February 2023. However, the specific name of the project, as per the tender document, was provision of cleaning services and blocking drainages, bush clearing across Kericho and Litein municipalities. Observations. That the project undertaken by the municipalities was known as provision of street cleaning services and blocking of drainage and bush clearing with a coin name Kazi Mtaani Stroke Equalizer Youth Empowerment Project. 5.2. What policy was being used to guide the said project? The committee established that the Kazi Mtaani project did not have a policy to guide its implementation. The municipalities opted to do the same the Kazi Mtaani task by way of request for quotation, and that sourced for the qualified list of a supplier for maintenance of sewerage system and cleaning of lagoons from the county procurement unit. That is Annex 2, copy of list of qualified suppliers. It is inside here, one can go through it. Observation. There was no policy in place to guide the implementation of the Kazi Mtaani project. However, the Kericho County Youth Service Policy, CHAP, was domesticated from the Kakamega Youth Service Act. 5.3. How much was allocated for the said project? There was no clear indication from the accounting officers to how much money was allocated for Kazi Mtaani project. However, the committee established as follows: analysis of the budgets for the Kericho and Litein municipality. So you can go through it. The total was, the grand total is 39 million for the entire project. So you can see for each financial year, that is 22-23 and 2023-24. Observations. A total of Kenya shillings 100,317,144 was budgeted to both municipalities in the year financial 2022-2023 and financial year 2023-2024. For both development and recurrent expenditures. This comprises of 47,500,000 for year 45,500,000 for the year 2022-2023, and Kenya shillings 54,817,144 for the financial year 2023-2024. However, in the 2 financial years, the documents submitted to the ad hoc committee revealed that a total of Kenya shillings 39,336,872.42, comprising of 36,579,523.42 was paid to 14 companies, and a pending bill of 2.7 million 573.49 for one company in Kericho municipality on the Kazi Mtaani project. The committee further observed that there was no specific amount allocated for the Kazi Mtaani project, but in the 2 financial years, a total of Kenya shilling 67,817,144 was disbursed to the 2 municipalities, out of which a total of 36,579,523.42 was paid out to companies that did not that did the Kazi Mtaani project. This leaves a balance of 37,620.58 that was utilized for further expenses by the 2 municipalities. The overall global balance for financial year 2023-2024 from the tabulation above is 32,500,000 as compared to a figure of 22,500 provided by the CCM Finance and Economic Planning, leaving a variance of 10 million that could not be ascertained by the committee. See Annex 3A, 3B copy of disbursement schedule for financial year 2022, 2023, 2023 and 2024. Honorable Speaker, 5.4. What was the nature of service to be provided under the project? Was it development or recurrent or in nature? The services provided under Kazi Mtaani was development in nature. And from the submissions and examinations of documents, the committee established that services procured were provisions of cleaning services, bush clearing, and drainages in the Kericho and Itein municipalities. See Annex 4A, copies of bills of quantities, Annex 4B, copies of contracts. Observations. The nature of services in the Kazi Mtaani project was development, and as such, the municipalities have utilized Kenya shillings 49 million out of the Kenya shillings 71.5 million, budgeted for the 2 financial years in the development fund for the 2 municipalities. Refer to Annex 3A and 3B, copies of disbursements schedules from the county treasury, and those annexures are inside here for members to go through them. The committee further observed that the 2 municipalities utilized both recurrent and development votes without clarity of the nature of services undertaken by each municipality. 5.5. How long was the project to be done? His Excellency the Governor launched the project on 14 February 2023 and was to last for a period of 6 months. The committee established that the project was done for a period of 26 days, each by the 15 companies as per the sample contract document signed between the municipalities and contractors. Observation. That the Kazi Mtaani project was to be done within a period of 6 months, but the contract documents revealed that the project was done in 3 months in 26 days, each executed in the 3 phases by 15 sourced companies. 5.6. What was the procurement process used to identify the contractors for the said project? Honorable Speaker, the procurement process used was request for quotation, and the lowest bidder was awarded. As per the procurement procedures, the user department raises requisition for the service, and accounting officer confirms the availability of funds. After confirmation of the funds, the approved request is forwarded to the head of procurement to source for the suppliers through request for quotation, open tender, or government to government methods of procurement. If it is an open tender, the procurement department would place a tender in the newspaper or website, and if they opt for request for quotation, procurement unit should have a list of qualified suppliers for provision of services or works. If the procurement department opt for request for quotation, then they would request for the qualified suppliers to come for bill of quantities for bidding on that note. The lowest bidder will be awarded the tender and the same supplier to open tender. In the case of Kericho and Litein municipalities, they opted for request for quotations, see Annex 5A sample of RFQs. 5 and a sample of RFQs, observations. That procurement process method used to identify the contractors was the request for quotation as per Section 92 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. The committee further observed that companies owned by the same person, such as Rihisa Enterprises Limited and Eagletrees Company Limited, were given the Kazim Tane works worth 2.5 million and 2.8 million, respectively, which is contrary to the spirit of Article 227(1) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. 5.7. Whether all the contractors and youths, laborers, laborers engaged have been paid. The Chief Officer, Department of Lands, Housing and Physical Planning, confirmed to the committee that the contractors engaged in the Litein municipality were fully paid, while the contractor in Kericho municipality has not been paid. 2.7 Kenya shillings 2.757349. However, the committee received an anonymous letter on behalf of some youths claiming pending payments of 13 days by Kericho contractors. Honorable members, there's a letter which came to the committee which was anonymous, claiming that some youths have not been paid, and I dare to believe the letter is just at the back of this document. See Annex 6, a copy of anonymous letter claiming non-payment of allowances. Observation. A claim that not all contractors were paid and a letter from an anonymous person informed the committee that youth/laborers were not fully paid. Some youths and women and laborers who appeared before the ad hoc committee claim that they still have pending payments of Kenya shillings 3,600 each. That there was no contract between the youths and the contractors on their terms, hence the committee could not verify, and this is very important, the committee could not verify as whether all the youths were paid or not. That the mode of engagement of the youths could not be ascertained. Therefore, value for money was not realized, and this is a violation of the Article 201(d) of the Constitution on the principles of public finance, which states that public money shall be used in prudent and responsible way. 5.8, the scope of works that was to be done by contractors. The table below provides the scope of works done by identified contractors in Litein municipalities. I think members, you can go through that, get the areas where, these contractors were supposed, and I think, Mr. Speaker, I'm stand guided. If it's possible, I jump through that area. So I go through everything.
Since all the honorable members have the say document, unless you just highlight, just mention, and then you proceed to the other pages.
Okay. In Litein, a company by the name Young Focus Enterprises were given work, provision of clearing, bush clearing, drainage at Rungut Road, St. Mark's, High Rise, Iposil Road, DC Junction to Litein East School. That is phase 1. Contract dates 23rd February 2nd for 26 days. Contract completion 17th March 2023. Contract amount 2.5. The second company, Clarky Limited, of Box 429 Kericho, provision of clearing services, bush clearing and drainages at Kapkatet Stadium, Itoik Limited, Ganaset Road, Kapkatet Cemetery and Sosit Road. That is phase 1, 23rd February 2nd, 023. On 17th March 2023, the amount paid was 2.626, 646.88. Number of days was 26. Citron General Works and Supplies, Beer Box 737 Kericho. Provision of services, cleaning, bush clearing, drainage at Jemosot and Jeborge Health Centers, Jemosot Market, Jemosot Feeder Roads, and Kaliet. 23rd, this was in phase 1, 23rd February 2nd, 023, for 26 days, 17th March, and the amount paid 2.172, 590.68. We move on. Ihaki General Works. The first one still works at Simoton, Kaminjayuet, and Togomin, Jemosot VCT. Ihaki General Works Limited, PO Box 161 Kericho. Provision of drainage, street cleaning, upholding, and blocking drainage and bush clearing at Jemosot and Jeborge Center Health Center. Jemosot Market, Jemosot Feeder Roads, Kalia, Simoton, Minjaiwa, and Togomin, Jemosot VCT, Rungud, the East Markets, Kapkatet, Nganaset, Darajasita, Sosit, and Itoik. That is phase 2, 14 June 2023, for 26 days. From 6th July 2023, the amount paid is 2.907, 167.90. Sabarix Enterprises, PO Box 1915, Kericho. Provision of services of street cleaning and blocking drainages, bush clearing, and general cleaning at Valley College Road, Samoget, Rungud Road, and St. Mark High Rise. That is phase 2. 30th June 2023, 26 days. From 25th July 2023, the amount paid is 2.872, 833.60. Honorable Speaker, Municipality, that is Edkiche Investment Limited, PO Box 114, Danai. Provisions of services of street clearing and blocking drainages, bush clearing, and general cleaning at Jemosot, Jeborge Health Center, Jemosot Market, Jemosot Feeder Roads, Kalia Samoton, Kaminjayuet, and Togomin Center, Jemosot VCT. That is phase 3. 30th June 2023 for 26 days. Starting the date contract completion was 26th July 2023. Amount paid was 2.827,800.00. Total amount spent. The Kericho Enterprises Limited, PO Box 23, Kericho, provision of services of street. The total amount spent on that third phase is 15,908,987. Kericho, that is the Boit Enterprises Limited, provision of services of street cleaning and blocking of drainage and bush clearing at Kapsuse Center, Brooks area, Kwamaiko, Machengo, and site and services area. Phase 1, 23rd Feb 2023, 26 days. The date which ended 17th March 2023, the amount paid is 2.8,001,389.76. Morich, provision of services, it's the same. The total amount which was paid to Morich is 2.743353.60. Enterprises Limited, PO Box, which number was this? Clearing, there was nothing there. Sorry? Oh yeah, okay. And then we go to Gritom Enterprise Limited, PO Box 737, Kericho. Works which were done, you can see them there. From 24th May 2023 for 26 days, the amount paid 2.690917. Risa Enterprises, provision of services cleaning, bush clearing at Kapsoid area behind Sondu Junction. And then the dates, as that is phase 2. Dates as shown on the table. The date which ended on 18th June 2023, the amount paid was 2.529456.02. Eagle trees, provision of services, you can see them there. This was on 30th June for 26 days. The date which ended was on 25th, this phase 3. And then the amount paid was 2.890272. Sharon's Holdings Limited of 589 Kericho. You can see the area which they did their work. And then it was from 30th, that was phase 3, 30th June 2023 for 26 days. It ended on 25th July 2023. The amount which was paid was 2.835403.20. And then Fatkin Enterprises Limited, BO Box 90, Sinende. You can see the areas they did the work. This was phase 3 on 30th June 2023 for 26 days. It ended on 25th July 2023, and the amount paid was 2.761472. And then Recheck Suppliers and Services Limited, provision of services of street cleaning and blocking drainages, bush clearing and general cleaning at Kwamaiko site, services area and Machengo areas. This was phase 3. And the dates are those shown there. The amount which was paid was 1.418272. The total amount spent by the municipality was 20 Kenya shillings 20,670,506.42. Pending bills was 2.757349. Grand total spent for Kasim Thani program was 39,336,872.42. Observations. That initially, the Kasim Thani project was to cover the areas within Kericho and retained municipalities. But upon consultation with key stakeholders, and I want members to know that, with key stakeholders, the CCM lands and municipal managers extended the scope of works to Ainamoi, Ngoine Road, and Kapkelek areas. 5.9. What criteria was used to allocate the different zones to various contractors? The municipalities considered the following criteria in allocation works to different zones to various contractors. A. Areas that were not contracted by the Department of Water, Energy, Environment, and Natural Resources. In Kericho municipality, areas covered were Kwamaiko site and service, Machengo, Hulapoa, Pakimutai, Depths, Few, Hotel Comfort around Saramek, Hotel, Mokech Hotel, The Silk, Kapsoid Polytechnic, Kanga Road, behind Sondu Junction, that is Kapsoid. Machengo area, Nyakacho Center, Brook, and Kapsuser areas. In Litein municipality, the areas covered were Rungut Road, St. Mark's High Rise, School, Kapkos Hill Road, Disease Junction, Litein East School, Kapkatet Stadium, Itoik Road, Nganaset Road, Kapkatet Cemetery, and Sosit, Chemosot and Cheborgei Health Center centers, Chemosot Market, Chemosot Feeder Roads, and Chemosot VCT. B. Rate PTC. Sorry. B. Rate of waste generations in densely populated areas. The rate of waste generation in densely populated areas such as Nyakacho, Mchini, and Brook areas was criteria considered in the allocation of work to the contractor. Accessibility to areas of refuse collection. Noting that some areas could not be accessed by refuse trucks and tractors from the Department of the Environment, the municipalities engaged the contractors to collect the transport waste using wheelbarrows to accessible areas. Observation that the contractors were allocated different zones as per the tender documents and responsive bidders for various zones. The CCM for lands informed the committee that upon discussion with stakeholders, there was consensus that additional scope of works and zones be added to include Ainamoi, Ngoina Road, and Kapkelek areas, which are outside municipality. 510. The terms of engagement between the county government, municipal boards, the contractors, and the youth/laborers. The Department of Lands, Housing, and Physical Planning, and the Department of Water, Environment, Energy, Forestry, and Natural Resources, include the municipal boards, are procuring entities of the county government. They all have one thing in common, that is garbage collection and drainage works, with the Department of Environment is to see the municipalities. In the Kazim Mtaani project, the Kericho and Itain municipalities undertook a project of bush clearing, garbage collection, and drainage works in their areas of jurisdiction, and expanded the scope of works to areas outside the municipality. The terms of engagement between the municipalities and the contractors were purely contractual, including recommending youths to be engaged by the contractors. The engagement between the contractors and the youths were purely employee relations. Observation that the term of engagement was contractual in nature between the suppliers and the procuring entities. The payment done to the 15 contractors awarded works were based on the bill of quantities and not the number of youths engaged. The bills of quantities revealed that the contract period for some companies was for 46 days, that is Sharon Holdings Limited, Recheck Supplies and Services Limited, and Eagle Trees Company Limited, where some contractors' bill of quantities were 46 days, such as Young Farmer Focus Investment Limited, Rehisa Enterprises Limited, Clarky Limited, and etc., with a variance of time not explained, refer to an extra 4A copies of bill of quantities. 511. How did the contractors identify the youth/laborers? It was a sole responsibility of the contractor to identify youths to be engaged in the Kazi Mtaani project, as per contracts signed and executed from the submissions of the witnesses who appeared before the ad hoc committee. The municipal managers seconded some youths that were engaged by the contractors. Observations that the intended objective of the Kazim Mtaani project was to create employment for youths, women, and vulnerable persons in Kericho County was not achieved since the municipalities preferred request for quotation method as opposed to community participation method stipulated in section 92 of the PBAD, Public and Participation Act, read together with PBAD regulations 108 to 111. 60. Challenges faced by the committee. The committee in its deliberation faced the following challenges. There was 1. There was limited access to critical information that the committee required to verify allegations raised in the Kazim Mtaani project. The officers entrusted with the custody of information contravene Section 8 and 9 of the Public Service Values and Principles Act 2015. 2. That there were contradictions in the submissions by the key witnesses. that appeared before the ad hoc committee on the Kasim Tani project. 3, that the senior procurement officer who appeared before the committee was not directly involved in the implementation of the Kazi Mtaani project. 7, Speaker, Committee General Observation is now very, very, very important. The ad hoc committee made the following observations. 1, that the intended objective of the Kasim Mtaani project to create employment for youths, women, and the vulnerable persons in Kericho County was not achieved, since the municipality's preferred request for quotation method as opposed to community participation method as stipulated in section 92 of the PPAD Act, read together with PPAD regulations 108 to 111. 2, that the Kasim Mtaani project did not achieve the intended objective, and thus there was no value for money, contrary to section 153(2) of the PFM Amendment Act 2023. Number 3, that the initial plan was to engage a total of 190 youths, that is 70 for Litein and 120 for Kericho municipality. 4, that the Litein and Kericho municipalities utilized all their budgets for financial year 2022-2023 and further utilized funds for financial year 2023-2024 without the approval of the county assembly. 5, that some documents requested by the committee during its deliberation were not submitted. That is the list of youth engaged and payment forgers. That is the 3 companies whose documents were not submitted are Toboit Enterprises Limited, Morich Enterprises Limited, and Skyridge business with a pending bill of Kenya shillings 2.7 million, 2.757349. That the committee could not ascertain. Number 6, that the Litein municipality does not have a substantive municipal manager, quantity surveyor, and a registered engineer, among other key staff, which is a requirement for the municipalities to function optimally. 7, that the Litein and Kericho municipalities are not on IFMIS, but instead uses checks as mode of payment. 8, that the procurement method used on the Kasim Mtaani project, like other projects, was recommended by the head of supply chain. The next one, that Kihagi General Works Limited signed a contract on 14 June 2023, and Edkiche Investment Limited signed a contract on 30th June 2023. Signed work at Chemosot and Cheborge Health Center, Chemosot Feeder Roads, Kalia, Simoton, Kaminjeyua, and Togom, Chemosot PTC. Additionally, the scopes of works for Kihaki General Works were at Rungut, Litein East, St. Mark's, Kapkatet, Ganaset, Darajasita, Sosit, and Itoik. The 2 contractors overlapped in the same month and were paid different amount, resulting to duplication of works. That Citron General Works was awarded works in Litein municipality at a cost of 2.1 million 72590.68, and Kritom Enterprises Limited was awarded works in Kericho municipality at a cost of 2.690917.84. Yet the 2 companies bear the same address, contrary to section 130 of PBA DA 2015. That some contractors engaged by the municipalities were not in the qualified list of suppliers for Kericho County, such as Fatchem Suppliers Limited, Citron General Works Suppliers Limited, Equities Company Limited, Morich Enterprise Limited, and Edkiche Investment Limited, contrary to Section 57 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. That the Kericho Litein municipalities have no autonomy, and most of their functions are done by the Department of Lands, Housing, and Physical Planning, and Water, Environment, Energy, Forestry, and Natural Resources. That one procurement officer serves both Litein and Kericho municipalities, and that the municipalities are understaffed. That the PQs prepared by the municipalities was to cover a period of 46 days for 3 contracts, but the contract signed revealed that it was for 26 days. This is an blatant violation of the provision of Section 6 of the Public Service Values and Principles Act 2015. Revert to Annex 4. Copies of PQs. That accounting officers of the Litein and Kericho municipalities are expected to adhere to their functions, including executing works and services within their areas of jurisdiction, are set out in the municipal charters and the Urban Areas and Cities Act. That the county executive and county assembly, in the execution of their mandate, did not observe the provisions of Article 183 and Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, respectively. That an induction and page marking visits are key to informing the county assembly on the functions of the municipalities as set out in the municipal charters and Urban Areas and Cities Act, including establishment of towns, municipalities, and cities. That the people who were engaged on the Kazi Mtaani project have not been fully paid. That some procured companies undertook works for 26 days, but PQs were evaluated using 46 days and were expected to work for 46 days. 26 days is, I think, there's a correction there. That some contractors' companies overlapped in the same zone at some period while undertaking works contracted by municipalities. That is the case of Risa and Edkiche. And the last one in our observations, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that the 12 files submitted to this committee was incomplete and documents attached thereto bore contradictions and inaccuracies which cast doubt to their authenticity. Number 9, on recommendations. And these are very, very important. The ad hoc committee made the following recommendations. One, that the head of procurement should at all times ensure that the provision of BBADA be adhered to the letter, including recommendations and developing a policy to use and adapt community participation method of procurement in engaging youths in employment, which will benefit youths directly as provided for in Section 92 of the BBADA and its regulations. Number 2, that the Litein and Kericho municipalities should work towards realizing its objectives, and that all projects undertaken by the two municipalities must have value for money, as envisioned by Section 153(2) of the Public Finance Management, that is Amendment Act 2023. That a structured way of engaging youth or any casual employee at the municipality is established. This can be done through adequate planning, as envisioned in the County Government Act and the Public Finance Management Act 2023. That the accounting officers at Litein and Kericho municipalities should stick to their budgets in each financial year, and that program-based budgets prepared by the municipalities should be forwarded to the county assembly for consideration. That fifth one, that all the public officers should adhere to Article 35 of government Constitution of Kenya and Section 8 and 9 of the Public Service Act, that is Values and Principles 2015 on access to information. That the County Public Service Board should ensure that Litein and Kericho municipalities are adequately staffed with key personnel, and that a substantial municipal manager be appointed to the Litein municipality within a period of 90 days. That the CCM Finance and Economic Planning ensure that the Kericho and Litein municipalities, since they are public entities, should be on IFMIS as per the Public Finance Management Act, that is, and its regulations within a period of 3 months. The next one is that the county head of procurement at all times recommend to the department and municipalities the appropriate method of procurement as stipulated in Section 92 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015 and its regulations. The next one is that the contractual period of works or services rendered to the municipalities be outlined and adhered to by the contractors as set out in the BBADA 2015 and BBAD regulations. Sixth, that due diligence be conducted at all times in awarding tenders to various bidders, and that the head of procurement ensures that bidders in the RFQ method engaged are all in the pre-qualified list as per BBADA and BBAD regulations. 7, that all the procuring entities of the county government of Kericho engage supplier in the pre-qualified list domiciled at the county procurement office. 7, that the Kericho and Litein municipalities be autonomous in every aspect, that is personnel, finance, assets, and that their functions be fully transferred from the relevant county departments. 8, the budgetary allocations for the Kericho and Litein municipalities should be increased and staffing be done with the approval of the County Public Service Board, so that works are done by the two municipalities as established by the charter. 9, that the accounting officers of Litein and Kericho municipalities in execution of their functions adhere to the bill of quantities that should be in tandem with contracts signed and executed in the line with BBADA 2015. 10, that the Litein and Kericho municipalities and the Department of the County Executive should adhere to Articles 10, 232 and 195 of the Constitution of Kenya and other provisions of law, including the Kericho and Litein municipal charters. 11, that the county executive and county assembly, in the execution of their mandates, should observe the provision of Article 183 and Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, respectively. 12, that structural consultations should always be done while engaging the youth women, and other vulnerable groups of community in activities and projects implemented by the county government of Kericho. 13, that the committee, Department of Lands and the Tain and Kericho municipalities undertake benchmarking with independent established municipalities for best practices to be replicated in Kericho. 14, the counting officers of the Tain and Kericho municipalities follow up with the contractors and ensure that all the youth, women, and vulnerable who are engaged in the Kazim Tani project be paid by the contractors within a period of 90 days after verification and validation report of the payment being submitted to the county assembly. That is 15. 20. That the companies, Toboit Enterprises Limited, Morich Enterprises Limited, Sairage business be investigated by the PPRA and other relevant agencies for Kazim Tani works done and report by shared for action. That the 5 companies, namely Eagle Trees, Edikiche Investment Limited, Siron General Works, Vetken Enterprise Limited, Morich Enterprise Limited, having not been pre-qualified, contrary to BBADA, that the works done by the Kihagi and Edikiche companies be re-evaluated for duplication of works and the covered process by initiated for works duplicated. The next one, evaluate the works done by contractors who were awarded works for 46 days and contracted for 26 days, yet paid for 46 days, and process of recovery be initiated once determined. That the payment to be contracted, that the payment to the contractor Skyridge business with a pending bill of Kenya 2.7,573,49 is holded until the said pending bill is ascertained. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, allow me to sincerely thank you. The committee wishes to thank the officers of the Office of the Honorable Speaker and the clerk for facilitation in the execution of its mandate. The committee acknowledges the county executive committee members, the county chief officer, the municipal managers, and the senior procurement officer for their input during the committee hearings. Lastly, Speaker, may I also register my sincere appreciations to the ad hoc committee members. You saw the composition of the committee members. This was a team that dedicated their time and everything to sit and, interrogate the work which you had given us. So may I also register my sincere appreciations to the ad hoc committee members and the secretariat for their commitment and invaluable input during all the deliberation and the report writing. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is now my present duty, pursuant to Section 14(1)(p) of the County Government Act 2012 and Kericho County Assembly Standing Order 2072, to present the report on the Primogeniture of Kazim Tani project by the Kericho and the 10 municipalities to the House for adoption. And let me request my able vice chair to come and second. Thank you for the time, Honorable Speaker. Behind that document, there are annexures. You can go through it, but let me also say thank you once more. Welcome.
Thank you, the Honorable Paul B. I'll give to the Honorable Protector going to second. And as you second, please note that we have limited time. We have 15 minutes only to dispense with the matter. And therefore, I will give to a few honorable members when I will open the debate. Please, the Honorable Rogwanya, I'll give you 2 minutes exactly. And you are there to it. Otherwise, I'll disconnect the mic because of time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the report by the ad hoc committee on Kazi Mtaani project implemented by the Litein and Kericho municipal boards. Mr. Speaker, I won't say much. I only want to point out a few things. One, that even as we undertook our job as a committee, we established that there are serious violation of laws by the accounting officers who managed this project. Mr. Speaker, if you check from the schedule that you have, in some municipalities, there are months which are missing. So it is true, the project that ought to have been rolled out in 6 months was done for only 3 months. And the amount that was spent is up to 36 million and a pending bill of 2 million that we witnessed, giving it to a total of 39 million. And number two, Mr. Speaker, it is true, the payment of these youth was not actually documented. When we requested for these documents, none of the contractors, except only one who appeared before the committee, supplied with the committee the documents that we wanted, even including the M-Pesa transactions. Mr. Speaker, I only want to say this, that even as we did our job, it is true, this contract, this program ought to have benefited the people of Kericho. It did not. And if you check from this, the 9 companies that never submitted documents to the committee, we may think that we lost monies that were paid to these companies. Mr. Speaker, you'll realize in this document that there are companies that did not even have an SSO, but they were paid for the job done. It is wrong, it is illegal, and we request the implementers of this report to go for these companies, for the county government of Kericho to repossess the monies that we lost. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the committee ably wanted these municipalities, the two, to be independent. If you look at, Mr. Speaker, the reason why Kericho might not be even benefiting from donor funds is because we do not have the requisite personnel for both municipalities, which is a requirement for the donors to support the two municipalities. Mr. Speaker, we are even thinking of creating more additional municipalities, Londiani and Sondu. But even with these two struggling, it's unfortunate because it is the role of the executive to sever the roles of these municipalities to their respective municipalities. So, Mr. Speaker, I support this report, and I wish the implementing authority of this report should check on a number of disparities, even for the companies that did works in the same place and both got paid for the same amount. This county government of Kericho lost that money. So, Mr. Speaker, I support the report, and I urge this House to support this report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right,
I second, and I urge the House to support the report.
All right, thank you, the Honorable Ruth Chagoin, for seconding the motion. I now wish to propose the question that this House adopts the report of the ad hoc committee on the Kazi Mtaani project implemented by the Litein and Kericho municipal boards. Now the floor is open, and I will give a minute each to honorable members so that they can dispense with the matter. The Honorable Diaz, Honorable Eric Bate, the Honorable Member for Kipchagor. Let's do a minute so that we can allow members to.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this chance, and I'm well guided by the directive you've given for time, because as by the extension you've given, we have a few minutes, so I will leave it to you to decide on the way forward, but allow me, Mr. Speaker, sir, to use my just a minute to contribute on this particular report, and I want to say I support this report. Mr. Speaker, sir, I've gone through this report, and it's just an eye-opener for the people of Kericho County, and there are issues in the Kazi Mtaani which the committee did a good job, and I want to say that to have more than 24 recommendations is really a huge task at hand. Mr. Speaker, sir, I just want to say that these observations and recommendations have given us a noble idea which the governor had in mind, but how it was managed, it was not done very well. And this is a learning lesson that a process that is well thought to be done can be mismanaged and can be seen in the report that has been tabled today here, Mr. Speaker, sir. I just want to pick an issue on the recommendation. That is recommendation number 22 and 23. And I'm concerned about why would a department would duplicate, will give the same work to contractors, same work, and I mean, it's just crazy that that happened. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, sir, is again the number of days. 46 days given in the tender document, yet 26 days were paid. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, these recommendations are many. I would not want to go through all of them because of your directive, but I want to say that once you pass these recommendations, all of them should be followed to the latter and must be implemented. And this goes to the Committee on Implementation chaired by Dr. Naman Rob, that once you pass this report, all these recommendations must be adopted and must be well followed to be ensured that has been addressed. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I do support this report with recommendations, and I hope this will help us moving forward as a county. Thank you,
All
Mr.
right,
Speaker.
thank you. The Honorable Ezron. And then I'll pick 2. Then I put the question. Yes, Honorable Magi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, for the opportunity you have granted me, Mr. Speaker. Despite the fact that we have a limited time, Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this report entirely, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I want to echo what the first speakers, Mr. Speaker, to thank the committee for the detailed report, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is some of the things which was highlighted by the committee, Mr. Speaker, and I will not like to ventilate more, Mr. Speaker. But I want to point out, Mr. Speaker, some of the things which the committee pointed out, Mr. Speaker, that, Mr. Speaker, there were some of the companies, Mr. Speaker, like one director, Mr. Speaker, there is one director who was a director of 2 companies, Rihisa and Ecolris company, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the committee say that they appear before the committee and they could not point out, Mr. Speaker, what was in the PQ, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the contractor was awarded contract and is not even aware on what was in the PQ, Mr. Speaker. It is so absurd, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to thank the committee, Mr. Speaker, on the recommendation, or they recommended on recommendation number 20, that the companies be investigated by relevant authorities, Mr. Speaker, and BPADA, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, another thing, Mr. Speaker, is that the project was undertaken without a clear policy, Mr. Speaker, and that is against the spirit of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, and against the procedures and rules and operation of the county, Mr. Speaker. That every policy which should be, every project which should be undertaken, Mr. Speaker, should add proper guideline, Mr. Speaker, and should be in line with the Constitution and the Government Act, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the committee pointed out again that there was no value for money which was realized as per by the observation on page 25, Mr. Speaker, and that, Mr. Speaker, that the construction, the municipal managers seconded some youths to the contractors, Mr. Speaker, and which is against the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, because that was a conflict of interest, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge the House to adopt this report and the recommendation which has been highlighted by the committee to be taken up by the implementation committee, and this recommendation should be acted upon, Mr. Speaker. And we want to see this recommendation being acted and being implemented as by the recommendation of this committee, Mr. Speaker, because this committee uses the resources of this county to come up with this good document. Because of time, Mr. Speaker, I want to propose, Mr. Speaker, a motion for adjournment of this motion, Mr. Speaker, to the next session, so that we have the time to deliberate, because this report is weighty, Mr. Speaker, and it needs proper ventilation so that we go through, Mr. Speaker. And I'll ask,
Order, I will give directions. you cannot ask anyone to order. You are out of order, the leader of majority. Honorable members, we proceed to, want to give to the Honorable, I saw the hand of Dora, a minute, and then Chief Whip, and then I give to Anthony. Using standing order number 1, we will dispense with this matter in 5 minutes' time. Sharon? Let's proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I wanted to really second my chairman for lands for requesting the adjournment of this house up to the afternoon session, because I also feel like this is a very weighty matter, Mr. Speaker. We cannot just talk about this motion in 1 minute, Mr. Speaker.
I don't remember. I've given you an opportunity to contribute to the motion, not to guide the chair.
Mr.
So
Speaker,
please
you are
proceed.
using your powers.
Proceed. Order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to second the motion, and I wanted to support the motion by the chairman of the ADO committee and give them credit for what they did. I think myself, as a youth of this county government, this county of Kericho, I'm really impressed by what they did and the report. As per the report, I think they captured everything that we were expecting. I also want to urge this honorable house, because you know everything starts from the County Assembly of Kericho. They allocate the money to the Municipal Council for development, but we see that they do nothing with the money. So I want to urge this honorable house, next time we are allocating monies for development to the Municipal Council of Kericho, we should not give 1 shilling, Mr. Speaker. Because how comes people are embezzling our funds, 49 million, 39 million, Mr. Speaker, sorry, and we cannot even account for the very few millions that we are giving them. So next time, Mr. Speaker, this house should be very categorical and very intentional on the jobs that should be done in this county. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you, the Honorable Dora Trino. Point of order. And you refer to your standing order that you are, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Sir, I rise on a point of standing order, Mr. Speaker, number 63, Mr. Speaker, on motion which may be moved without a notice, Mr. Speaker. That according to standing order number 63, subsection B, I rise on a motion for adjournment of the Assembly or of a debate because of the magnitude of the debate, Mr. Speaker, of the motion we have at hand, Mr. Speaker, and the time, Mr. Speaker, we have less minutes, Mr. Speaker. So I rise to seek for adjournment of the motion, of the debate, to the next session, Mr. Speaker, so that we get ample time, we debate because of the magnitude of this report, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Honorable Member, that is okay. Yes, you have made your prayer. Now you can take your seat. Honorable, the Leader of Majority Emeritus, remember that we are here by virtue of extending time before, and the standing orders does not provide if at any given time that there was an extension of time, you still want us to adjourn the motion. I therefore will use my standing order number 1 and allow you some few more minutes, the members who have not spoken and those who wish to speak. But as I say, as you know, always we'll have limited time of around 2 minutes for every honorable member. So the Honorable Chief Whip, let us proceed in that process.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and for giving me this opportunity to also give my input on this report that has been ably tabled by our chair, that is Honorable B. Mr. Speaker, number 1, I want to start by saying that the intended purpose for this Kazim Mtane, Mr. Speaker, he was well advised that we wanted it to assist our people and probably save on the few coins, because I understand that these projects were supposed to be done using few coins, Mr. Speaker. And like if it were given out as a major contract, Mr. Speaker, we understand that it was going to cost a county over 100 million, Mr. Speaker. Number two, Mr. Speaker, because of the report and that is before us, Mr. Speaker, as I support, Mr. Speaker, as I support, I want to make it very clear that averagely, Mr. Speaker, the works that were done, Mr. Speaker, because I'm one of the beneficiaries, I want to confirm the works that were done purely in my own jurisdiction. Personally, I want to confirm that it was done to satisfaction, that is Kapsuser, because I happen to be one of the people that does the oversight. So all the time, Mr. Speaker, that the works were going on in my own jurisdiction, I want to confirm before this house, that is Kapsuser Center and Kapkelek, I want to confirm it was done to the satisfaction of myself and the people that gave me that mandate in my own jurisdiction. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I want to also confirm, just like what the Honorable Deputy Speaker had actually enumerated earlier, that, Mr. Speaker, in as much as all other people are given out contracts, it is good that we always do or tell our people that they should do to the standard that is required. To the point of probably doing what the Honorable Deputy Speaker had said, that duplication, I want to confirm that one should not be seen because it's actually going to taint the image of our county. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I want to confirm, based on the report and recommendations that were given, I want to say that the recommendations are not badly off. However,
as you finalize.
However, Mr. Speaker, it's always good that we do everything that we do as a county assembly and even the county government. Let's do, because we are all after the interest of our people of Kericho. So let's do with all-hearted heart and probably deliver based on the manifesto that we gave to our good people in our own respective words. All in all, I want to say, as the chair of this committee had actually said, and I'm hearing an honorable member here, Mr. Speaker, saying that he wants to hear, is telling me Mujumbe. I'm a Mujumbe representing good people of Seritut, Cheptorori, and that is why I speak on their behalf. Okay. So as I clear, Mr. Speaker, as I wind up, I want to say that I support what the chair has read, and going forward, let's do things, and probably let's give advice as honorable members before things get out of hand. Let's handle in our various words. You know, Mr. Speaker, it's not good again that we want to taint the image of other people at times, because you see they have not done probably satisfactory, so that you want to say that, oh, this one was done badly. I want us to request honorable members, everybody must actually stick to his word and work properly. If there is anything that needs to be rectified, let's rectify with the field before it is actually brought to this far. Mr. Speaker, I want to say, as I support, let's all honorable members, because you are elected to represent each and every place. Like my ward, I represent them fully. And if in case there's any problem, I will rectify at that time, not at Padaya.
All right, thank you. The Honorable Chief Whip. Whereas you have a right to speak, let me also remind you on your role as a member of County Assembly, that the matters that touches on executive, you cannot implement at the same time oversight. So at some point in your submission, you are out of order. The Honorable Matthew, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity so as to support this motion, this report from the ad hoc committee under Kazi Mtaani. Mr. Speaker, it is now that I've been vindicated. I've been vindicated, Mr. Speaker, on a number of issues. But with the report, I want to thank the committee. I want to thank the APO chair And I want to thank the senior members of that committee. One, Honorable Shele, and even the junior or the young member of this county assembly, Honorable Koske, for standing for the truth, for making sure that the young people of this county have been given the truth that was supposed to be given before. Mr. Speaker, according to the report, Mr. Speaker, it is very clear that the value of money was not met. It is very clear, Mr. Speaker, that the intention and the good spirit of the governor that had to employ and give opportunity to the young people, Mr. Speaker, a number of staff in these quarters misused the opportunity of the young people. Mr. Speaker, when you go through, I've been even questioning how can a senior procurement officer appear before the committee and tell a lot of lies, Mr. Speaker. In the standard practice, Mr. Speaker, you sign the contract before you commence. But in this case, Mr. Speaker, under Kasim Mtaani, you sign the contract so that you can be paid. Mr. Speaker, the contract was signed on 30th June 2023. The work commenced on January 2023, Mr. Speaker. Does this county have the qualified staff? Thank you, Chairman, for coming out clean and tell us that the county government, executive department, have no qualified staff. Mr. Speaker, in a political science, if you are a political scientist, we have what we call sunshine law. Sunshine law, Mr. Speaker, is when you are being given an opportunity to do oversight. You don't do oversight with double standard. You do oversight by providing the right to the people and the right of those oppressors and those who are trying to manufacture things on behalf of other people, Mr. Speaker. This report, when I raised the statement, Mr. Speaker, the young people were about to go to the, for demonstration, Mr. Speaker, because of non-payment, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the report is very clear by the CCM lands that the youth that were engaged are 500. Mr. Speaker, even in this report that each and every member asked today, there is no list of the 500 youths. What does that mean? The report from the CCM lands is not authenticated and is not clear whether that the young people benefited that are 500. Mr. Speaker, number of people have just mentioned that there was overlapping of the work. Mr. Speaker, the lands department and the municipalities, Mr. Speaker, needs to have clear rules so that when the county government, when the county assembly allocate funds to this department, the implementation of those funds must come out clear. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge my colleagues. I think today you have known the truth. From the observation of the committee, I was not a member of the committee, but I am the owner of the statement. Hope a number of you have just learned that there was nothing that we were hiding when I raised the statement. Mr. Speaker, in fact, I've learned that Kasim Mtaani was to be implemented within the hotels. If you can see the scope of work, it was implemented in the Slick Hotel, Kulapoa Hotel. Mr. Speaker, is this money was taken to an hotel or the young people were unblocking the culvert in an hotel? Mr. Speaker, we want the implementers of this report to come out clear and implement this report accordingly. Mr. Speaker, there is a variance of 10 million that the chairman has indicated, that there is a variance of 10 million. And I'm wondering, Mr. Speaker, when we were discussing the Londiani scandal, Mr. Speaker, we had two companies, that is Supershine and Supertech. In this one, Mr. Speaker, we have the same characters. We have the Kritom and Sirton, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, is it?
Let us allow the
Mr. Speaker.
Order.
Mr.
Please.
Speaker.
Order. Let us not put order, Honorable Matthew. Please take your seat. Let's and the honorable members, let us not put emotions. before what is we are discussing. So let us allow members to ventilate their issues. Your standing order, your point on order.
Order.
Chief Whip.
Yes, 1-1. Mr. Speaker.
Just proceed.
Mr. Speaker, is the member in order to say that the works of unlocking drainages were done in Kulapua, Mr. Speaker? Is it in order? Yeah? Was it done in really? Is it in order to say like that?
Yes, order. The Honorable Matthew, you have, that is actually to remind you, is a responsibility for statement of facts. So whatever you are saying, the member, just before you pick your seat, before you pick your microphone, is that the Honorable Chief Whip, if I got you right, is whether there was unblocking of culverts in those hotels, or what did the Honorable Member for Chai meant. So you can clarify that and then you proceed with your contribution.
Mr. Speaker, I think since that you have given me this opportunity also to clarify, I want to ask the honorable member to kindly go through the report. In the report, the work that was given even to, I want to give you one company so that you can understand. Kulapoa is mentioned and the slick is mentioned. Page 29. Even you can read page 30, where the mortgage, the hotel, Slick, Capsoid, Kanga, and then in 2020, I don't have 29, you know this report was sometimes edited. Okay, the scope of work. That is what I mean, the scope of work. You know, I might be having a different report, but I trust the chair that he has given us the right report. So, that is what I meant. Mr. Speaker, if the honorable member can give me my time to just share what I have and highlight what I know, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, let us. Can
Speaker,
you
is it
finalize
possible that
order?
you provide
Order.
protection from honorable members who are
Order.
discussing this report, Mr. Speaker?
Order, honorable members. Let us allow the Honorable Matthew to finalize so that we can, please proceed.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I know
Chief
the honorable
Order.
members are now getting me that call Mr. Statement, but I want to thank you because when I give a statement, when I write a statement,
Honorable
you get
Matthew,
an opportunity to implement your oversight work. Mr. Speaker, finally,
stick to the subject.
Finally, Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
I was mentioning about the shared companies, Mr. Speaker. If this county is serious, we have a number of young people who are languishing in poverty, Mr. Speaker, who have their companies already, Mr. Speaker. But with the recommendation and the general observation from the committee, I think now it is high time that I will stand firm with the 500 youth until they will be paid. Whether that you like or not, I will stand firm in 90 days to ensure the young people get their dues. Reason, Mr. Speaker, the implementation committee should follow it up with this report, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And for the last, Mr. Speaker, okay, sorry. Mr. Speaker, I want to wish the chairman long life, Mr. Chairman, for standing and giving us the truth, for giving us the real report, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think this chairman needs to be given for, you need to give a trip to Mombasa, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Order, honorable members. The Honorable Gilbert Ngatich. And then we finalize. I'll give to the Honorable Anthony Ruto and then we will summarize. The Honorable Gilbert. And let us stick to the subject matter, honorable members. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity also to support this particular report, which Honorable Chair has really read, and he has really given us the full picture of what was happening in the Kasim Taani, and if need be, a rectification can be made where there is a fault, Mr. Speaker. Only that, Honorable Speaker, I was surprised the whistleblower has a report different from the one the chair has. Mr. Speaker, I was perturbed when I was raising my hand. When the whistleblower said,
Order, Honorable Matthew. Please
I
proceed.
can clarify, Mr. Speaker, why I'm saying this.
Order.
I can clarify,
Order,
Mr.
Honorable.
Speaker,
Just let us,
unless the
let us
meaning
stick-
changed.
Let us stick to the subject matter.
Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable members.
I think, Mr. Speaker,
Order,
this is a
order,
house of
order,
respect.
Honorable Matthew.
I should also be given respect while talking, or there are some super
Yeah.
MCAs here. Should be also given respect, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yes, Honorable Gilbert, I agree with you. Proceed. And Honorable
Okay,
members,
Mr. Speaker.
Let us respect the views of any member, please.
Yes.
All right, proceed.
So, Mr. Speaker, unless I was not in a class of English, the meaning of whistleblower means the person who raised the statement. That is the meaning. And that is bottom line, a grammatical meaning of whistleblowing. Mr. Speaker, I'm supporting this report, Mr. Speaker. And this report will give us a guidance on how we will have to really engage our youths in future like this. If there is a mess, Mr. Speaker, sir, anywhere highlighted by the chair, we will use it to really mend the future, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, we are really appreciating the work done by committees when they really use taxpayers' money to go and actually sit and work on a report and eventually be tabled here. We cannot actually take it sarcastic, Mr. Speaker. It is a report that has been tabled and worked on by honorable members for a number of days, permitted by you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, my contribution is actually that we may not be having all the positive connotations or full negative connotations in this report, but I see this report to really assist us in mending the future, Mr. Speaker, in how to really work on it. So when we really have a statement of a kind, like I can bring one in, tomorrow, Mr. Speaker, we don't attach statements with feelings and also trying to use it as a weapon. Mr. Speaker, the chairman, I have to tell you that you've really worked very hard to ensure this report is actually presented to the House, despite the many hulapalus existing in the media, Mr. Speaker. This House also is a respected House, and the existence in the media also are free to really air what they think of, but the authentication emanates from this particular honorable House. Thank you, team, for bringing this, and it will assist us to really mend the future. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
All right, thank you, the Honorable Gilbert Ngatich. I'll give the Honorable Anthony Ruto.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, for giving me this chance so as to support this report. I want to start my contribution by commending our able chair at the committee, Mheshimiwa Bolbi, and his entire team for coming up with a detailed and comprehensive report like this. He was able to lead us in looking at issues that were raised by an honorable member that came with the statement to this particular House. We were able to look at all the issues, and all of them are captured in this particular report. Bravo, our able chair at the committee, Kasim Kaha. Honorable Speaker, sir, I don't want to repeat what has already been mentioned by my colleagues, but I want to big point some few issues under recommendations. There is one key issue which was captured in recommendation. The reason why this particular program was misused is because of lack of structured way of engagement. And if we had a structured way of engagement, this is policy, we would have avoided several things. Among them, we are told initially Kericho municipality was supposed to engage 120 youths. Litein 70. But in the process, the number went up to 500. Reason? Because of unstructured way of doing things. According to this report, again, Honorable Speaker, sir, we were able to observe that the two municipalities were able to use money which was not meant for this program. They used development money and also recovery. Reason? Because of lack of policy. Contractors, those who are engaged, some of them were not in the pre-qualified list. Reason? Because of lack of policy. We are told again, Honorable Speaker, sir, in some zones, two contractors were doing works at the same time. Reason? Lack of policy. And many, many others. Another issue, Honorable Speaker, sir, and this one should be taken seriously. And it is good, it is captured in the recommendation. The two municipalities should be given autonomy optimally, so that at the end of the day, they can be able to execute its mandate. Finally, Honorable Speaker, sir, we are told again in the report that Litein, the manager of Litein, is not substantially appointed to that particular office. Is on acting capacity. This one also should be taken seriously, because at the end of the day, this particular person cannot be able to execute his works or his mandate as municipal manager. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, sir, I beg to end there. Thank you.
Thank you, the Honorable Peter Kemoy. And then I'll give to the Honorable Chairman for lands, because he had an issue to raise, and then I'll give to the mover with the motion to reply, and then we finalize. Please, in that order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me an opportunity. I want to echo the ad hoc committee for the good work done. I've requested for an opportunity, Mr. Speaker, sir, for a concern that our youths were used to deliver some works in various places, but they are not paid. Those who are paid, they didn't deliver any work. My request to this House that our youths should be paid with an immediate effect, not a question of 90 days, and yet they use their energy to deliver the services to this county. Number two, Mr. Speaker, sir, there are so many companies which the committee told us that they were awarded tender And yet, when they were requested to appear before the committee, they failed. And yet, they have taken the resources of this county. What is the reason behind that? Because it is like enriching themselves with the resources of this county. My appeal is that the action should be taken with an immediate effect to these companies. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, the Honorable Peter Kimoy, the Honorable Member for Kapsusa, the Honorable Chairman Land, Housing, Fiscal Planning. You finalize what you had so that I give you the move of the motion to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think, Mr. Speaker, because you had used your discretion on standing order number 1, Mr. Speaker, I was feeling that some members will be left out in contributing, Mr. Speaker. But because, Mr. Speaker, you have allowed some members to deliberate, Mr. Speaker, I want to sincerely thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank the honorable members for contribution, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the Committee on Implementation will take up the matter and ensure that the recommendations which has been highlighted by this HADO committee led by Senior and APO Chair Honorable Paul B. be implemented. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, because if this recommendation will be acted upon, Mr. Speaker, it will be a great deal, Mr. Speaker, because municipalities are key entities, Mr. Speaker. Today, as we are speaking, Mr. Speaker, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, assigned, has received, Mr. Speaker, KUSUP 2, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, as we are speaking, Mr. Speaker, the President has written that today he was deliberating on scaling up of resources in urban development, which will ensure inclusive and quality infrastructure to accelerate the realization of our bottom-up economic transformation, and launch the Kenya Urban Support Program 2, and witness the signing of the Intergovernmental Participation Agreement, Mr. Speaker, where it saw that the county government, the 45 counties, including Kericho, Mr. Speaker, will benefit with an amount of 340 million, 314 million, 500,000 US dollars, which will be meant for 45 counties to be implemented in KUSUP 2, Mr. Speaker. And we are so happy because Kericho County is among the 45 counties, Mr. Speaker, which will benefit on KUSUP 2. And KUSUP 2, Mr. Speaker, is squarely will be implemented within the municipalities, Mr. Speaker. And sanity should be brought within the municipalities, because we are receiving this huge amount. And if there is some gray areas which are within, Mr. Speaker, and then we need to clear up so that when we'll be receiving KUSUP 2, Mr. Speaker, we have straightened and put up the policies in place so that we implement the second KUSUP 2, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, and thank the committee.
Okay, thank you. The Honorable Paul B. Now you can reply to your motion, and then we.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and honorable members for supporting the report. Mine is just to thank everyone for their time, to thank the ad hoc committee for their time also, my able vice chair and the entire team for availing their time. Honorable Speaker, have in mind what was going around the entire week wasn't so pleasing. I had to come back yesterday from taking care of my sick mom just because of this report, because the report was ready and what was going around wasn't pleasing at all. Honorable members, I really want to thank you, and you've seen the need. At a time we had requested for the extension. I tend to believe that looking at the report, you've seen the reason as to why we did actually wanted to extend time to ventilate more and to bring a vast document that this House have seen. So I want to ask maybe the implementation team to take up from where we've reached. Otherwise, thank you very much. Thank you everybody for your time, and thank you, Honorable Speaker, plus the Secretariat, whom we sat together to prepare the document. Thank you, and may God bless. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, the Honorable Paul B., Chairman, Kazim Mtaani Ad Hoc Committee. Honorable members, I now rise to put the question that this House adopts the report of the Ad Hoc Committee on Kazim Mtaani project implemented by Litein and Kericho municipal boards. Will as many of similar opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? And the ayes have it. Honorable members, now that the report of the Ad Hoc Committee on Kazim Mtaani project implemented by Litein and Kericho municipal boards have been adopted by this House this session, I wish to direct as follows: that each committee on implementation pick up the very matters that have been raised, the weighty matters that have been raised, more so on the the payments of the youth that have been mentioned in the report, more so on the issues of value of money that have been raised, that the committee on implementation, you have 90 days, and when we say 90 days, we mean you can report even before the 90th day elapsed to this House. But you have 90 days to conclude the matter, to critically follow up with the executive on the issues that have been raised and ensure that they are addressed and report back to this House. Otherwise, honorable members, I wish to thank all of you for being patient this session, and I now, there being no other order of business, this House stands adjourned until the afternoon session. Thank you, and have a good afternoon.